The world-famous Octagon has returned to Brazil for the first time in over a decade. We begin in the bantamweight. Opening up the UFC's first event in Brazil in nearly 13 years would be a daunting task for most fighters. But not for bantamweights. Ian Loveland and Yves Dubois, two veterans with aggressive styles that should get everyone cheering from the opening bell. Loveland is a versatile competitor who is adept at both knocking out and submitting his opponents. Dubois can handle himself on the mat, but he would much rather stand and bang it out on the feet, where he can show off the skills that have made him one of Canada's premier strikers. Yet no matter where the fight ends up, expect excitement. Our tale of the tape for this bantamweight matchup. Ian Loveland from Portland, Oregon, fighting again tonight at 135 pounds. He is 28 years old, 4 years younger than Yves Dubois. Here is Bruce Buffer.
And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard, our referee, for the first UFC fight in Brazil in 13 years. The beautiful Ariane, Sean Della, our entire crew, thrilled to be here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Okay. All right.
Yves Dubois, Ian Loveland. Here we go.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
Listen to the crowd.
Unbelievable. I think these guys are going to go right at it as well.
Loveland trying to cut off the angles early. Loveland in the dark trunks, Dubois in the white trunks. Watch for the spinning back fist, the spinning kicks of Yves Dubois that Kenny talked about during his entrance.
Yeah, that's his favorite technique. He loves to throw that back kick. Also possesses a great spinning back fist as well. So anytime you see him turn his back, watch out, get out of the way.
Watch those lead shoulders, nice kick to the midsection. Loveland really trying to force the action early.
It's a very nice knee by Loveland. He's in the clinch, trying to get underhooks.
Loveland has a wrestling background, but he likes to strike.
Absolutely, he has very fast hands, likes to get in there, throw a nice short combination right into the clinch. And Yves really gonna have to use his footwork to get out of the way. Nice side kick and some good dirty boxing from Ian Loveland.
Loveland would like to turn this into a bit of a brawl. Dubois would like to be technical. Off the kick, he's taken down.
He took that kick right in the jaw. Didn't matter, he went forward, took him down right off of it. And Yves in a tough position here in half guard. He's looking to get an underhook with his left arm to try to get back to his feet. And it looks like he's wincing there. He may have got caught there in the eye, in the left eye there. Looking for a butterfly guard to try to elevate Loveland. But Loveland's right where he wants to be. This is where he wants to control and be on top of Yves, try to tire him out, get on top, and use those wrestling control skills to tire out Dubois.
Looking to pass guard. And rain some ground and pound. Now he's in the butterfly guard again. Loveland said, "I'm too aggressive, too strong, and too mean."
Well, he definitely is that. He's very fast, loves a good scrap, and it looks like Dubois is still having problems with that left eye. I don't know if it's blood going in there, if he was caught, but now Loveland's working to try to get a paintbrush from half guard. It can be tough to finish from there. And half guard, it's tough to finish, but Dubois is doing a good job of defending. Loveland notices that, and let's go.
Half guard right now, Ian Loveland. Round one, 2.5 minutes on the clock.
Loveland's doing a nice job of controlling Yves with his right arm. And the ref is going to stand it up.
Go on. Stay there for me. Come here, fighter. Come here, fighter. Just get this cut.
A little loose tape on the glove of Ian Loveland.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if he was standing up from lack of action because Loveland was staying active there.
And was in half guard.
Yes, he was in a good position there, working very, very well.
Okay, guys, center.
They're going to stand him right back on the feet here.
So they stay on the feet, and the action continues. Quick lead left hook by Dubois, Kenny.
Yes, very, very nice. He loves to blitz you with a nice hand to leg combination, and this is a huge advantage for Yves. He kind of has a second life here.
Nice knee. Loveland's coming in from some crazy angles.
It's so difficult to face a guy like Loveland who throws so many awkward techniques. You know, a guy who wants to grapple you, but then he'll come in with a flying knee, kind of these crazy punches, good combination. And he's very, very aggressive. Tough guy to face.
Very evenly matched are these two MMA veterans. 14 wins for Loveland, 15 for Jabois. Nice kick to the midsection. The switch, and he delivered that one to the ribs of Ian Loveland.
Beautiful switch kick. You can see Yves, a lot of movement from Yves. He has to be careful. He's going straight back. He needs to continue with that side-to-side movement because Loveland, that's exactly what he wants. He blitzes and he gets you up against the fence. He controls you, kind of your typical Team Quest style of fighting.
Checked. Loveland, when he makes that move towards his opponent, he is determined to make sure he lands at least one strike. Low kick followed by a right hand that just missed for Jabois. Under a minute on the clock here in round one.
You can see Yves kind of having trouble kind of getting his timing, getting his range, because Loveland is so awkward. He comes in, he rushes you. Ooh, there's that back kick.
So one here in the first round thrown by Jabois.
Oh, he rocks him. Big right hand from Yves and a flying knee.
Jabois spins just over Ian Loveland, who just ducked out of the way.
That was a big shot. Loveland could still be hurt here.
He rocked him there late in round one. Final seconds of the first round.
This is going to be a tough round to score. Big right hand, right on the jaw of Loveland, and a beautiful flying left knee. Bang, there it is. He ran right to that side. He went to the wrong side. When you want to circle there, you usually want to go away from the power. He went into the power of Yves Jabois and got caught. And Yves probably should have kept his composure there. Went for the big technique there, the spinning back fist, and missed with it.
Let's come in with some angles and give me a jab or a feint. You're out wrestling him now. Yeah. Let's put him back on it. Let's put him back on the ground. Elbowed in. Let's catch the kick, or let's go in on the single and put him on his back, okay?
With that left arm.
You're doing wonderful. Let's get that mouthpiece back there. Come on.
Aaron, you got to go. Stand back, Yves, stand back.
The lovely Shondella set for the start of round number 2, HSBC Arena, Rio de Janeiro, Brazil.
Okay, ready round 2, guys. Let's do this.
Doing some damage late in round 1 was the Haitian who now fights out of Montreal, Quebec. Side control immediately for Loveland. You heard his corner, Kenny, say, now we're wrestling him.
Yeah, he
didn't
waste any time trying to bring this fight to the mat. And it's a smart choice here. Jabois did a great job of countering, getting back to his feet, finished a nice high crotch there, and now he's on top of Loveland. Good position to be in here for Yves. If he's gonna be on the ground, you definitely want to be on top. Nice reversal for him here.
Trying to throw the elbow over the top. Loveland victorious on late notice in his UFC debut. Took the fight at 145 with the late notice and defeated Tyler Toner. 11 wins by knockout, 1 by submission for Jabois, who's back on the bottom.
You know, that was, I think, the exact same reversal that Mark Hominick used against Yves. Went for an arm lock from his guard, rolled him right into mount position. Beautiful technique from Loveland here.
That was a great fight back in the WEC.
Got fight of the night that night. Now Loveland's back on top, working from half guard. This is where he wants to be. Yves is trying to get an underhook, trying to get back to his guard here.
See if he can get that left leg free, Kenny.
And he does. Very good job. This is a back and forth war here.
Good battle, just over 3 minutes on the clock here in round 2. Ian Loveland, Yves Jabouin.
These guys are bringing it tonight. There's been some excellent scrambles here, both on the ground, on the feet. They're trading.
Jabouin, Canadian amateur kickboxing champion, Canadian lightweight champion in a smaller organization. Nice kick. He's had success with that left kick to the midsection of Ian Loveland. Oh my! Good spinning back kick.
That landed perfectly right in the liver. Loveland took it very, very well.
Jabouin has landed the more damaging strikes in this fight so far, Kenny.
He definitely has. He definitely has. You know, that first round was interesting. He definitely landed more damage in that first round, but with that takedown and some of the damage that Loveland did on the ground, that's going to be a tough round to score. And he took that back kick right in the groin.
Loveland waving it off, said he's ready. Loveland was looking to kick at the same time, which left himself very exposed.
Okay, guys, watch those kicks. Ready? Let's go.
Lead left hook. Oh my! Loveland just leans in a very awkward fashion when he goes to strike, and oftentimes, Kenny, he'll lead with his right.
Yeah,
again, right there.
Exactly. It's almost like he's in a sprinter's position. Anytime you see him get low, he's going to get ready to pounce and blitz you, and that's one thing you have to be really aware of. And Yves can't go straight back. He's got to go side to side. Landed the spinning back fist.
Jabouin has spun a lot, and he's delivered and scored on most of them.
Very, very fast. When you have that kind of speed, you can afford to do those things. The spinning back kicks, the spinning back fist, possesses tremendous amount of speed.
Looking for the neck of Ian Loveland on the takedown attempt.
He's looking for the high elbow guillotine there. Now he's looking to get right back up. Very good job by Yves getting back to his feet up against the fence.
Good takedown defense. And the ability to get right back up. Swing and a miss by Jabouin. Counter almost landed for Loveland.
Yeah, Yves needs to stay a little bit more disciplined. He's got to pick and choose when to throw that right hand. He can't just start getting careless with it. Nice kick. Yves had a lot more success with his kicks than his punches at this point. Loveland's doing a good job of mixing things up, getting the takedowns. It's been a very, very close fight.
40 seconds on the clock here in round 2. Watch Loveland again. He gets very straightforward, doesn't come in on an angle. That time he almost tried to bull rush him.
Yeah.
And throws that right hand. Oh!
Nice shot to the liver by Yves Jabouin.
Leaned in with the right shoulder and scored on the body shot.
Beautiful takedown from Yves Jabouin.
Which is huge late in the round.
Yeah, absolutely. That liver shot and this takedown, in my opinion, won the round for Yves. Let's take a look at some of the attacks that Yves Jabouin has been utilizing here in the second round. It's a nice takedown from Loveland early on. Here's that spinning back kick from Yves Jabouin. Kind of caught him in the elbow. Here's that back fist. Beautiful. And here's that liver shot. Great shot to the body. Those are the shots that really add up and start to really wear on your opponent.
Much of a takedown defense. I want you to start the round by throwing punches like you were doing. And after about 30 seconds, 1 minute, I want you to shoot for that takedown, okay? Close-in combinations is really open for the 1-2 right leg. Right kick to the head, okay? So jab, right hand, right kick to the head, okay? Because every time you hit him with the right hand, he drops it. Right hand, right kick to the head.
Loveland well aware that that was a strong finish in round 2 by his opponent. 5 minutes on the clock, third and final round.
Yeah, you got to think this third round is going to be important for both of these guys. You know, that first round, probably Loveland. Second, Yves. This third round's critical to see who gets the win here. They're going to have to bring it. Ayman Zahabi, the corner man for Yves, imploring him to throw that 1-2 leg kick. Told him at the 30 seconds left to look for that takedown, try to surprise Loveland as he did in the second round.
You can see from the stance, Jabois a moment ago looked like he was about to spin again, Kenny.
Yeah, you can see it. As soon as he starts to narrow that shoulders, he kind of gets in a boxing stance, he's going to look to spin. You're getting good at this, Goldie.
Thank you, buddy. I've seen a few.
That's it. And you can see the same thing that you were talking about earlier. When he gets in that low position, you can see Loveland as well, looking for that big-time blitz or looking for that takedown. And he even seems like he's kind of got his range here against Loveland and getting more confidence as this fight's going on.
And just stuff that takedown with no problem.
Yes. He's a little bit lower now. He's starting to find that range, starting to get on to what Loveland's trying to do to him here. And scoring more with that kick here. There's that switch kick again, that lead left switch kick. Goes to the body, goes to the inside of that leg.
And Jabois with a quick takedown, but right back up is Loveland. Well, Loveland with the wrestling advantage has not been able to take Jabois down and keep him down and score. And that's as much a key to this fight as anything else.
Absolutely. You know, you don't want to be on your feet too long against Jabois. This guy is very dangerous. And certainly the strategy, hearing from the corner of Loveland, was to put Jabois on his back. But Yves really has been working very hard in his jiu-jitsu, trying to get back to his feet, of course, where he could have the advantage.
Bantamweight debut tonight for Yves Jabois.
Nice jab from Yves.
Big swing in the right hand counter by Loveland. Under 3. Remains in this fight.
Nice jab from Loveland. You can see him getting a little bit frustrated here in this third round. He's gonna have to go back to doing what he was doing in that second round, really bringing the action. I don't know if he's tired or he's kind of afraid of the counters of Yves, but he needs to get aggressive here in this third round.
There it is. Again, he connects with the spinning back fist. Loveland trying to bring him down to the ground, unsuccessful once again. Past the midway point of the third and final round. First UFC fight in Brazil in 13 years. Head kick. Let's see if Loveland tries to push the pace a little bit here.
Yep, there's under 2 minutes left here. Loveland's gonna have to start to go forward. Nice cutting kick by Jabois right on the outside of the leg here.
You can just see by the way he's holding his hands, his confidence is very high right now.
Yeah.
Kind of loose, very fluid.
You can see he's trying to work that jab against Loveland. Because of the length issue, because of the reach issue, he hasn't been very successful getting that jab off, because a lot of Yves' striking comes off of that jab. Loveland's just taller, longer reach. He's had more success, because of that, he's had more success with his kicks.
And again, great hips, great takedown defense by Jabois. Jabois looking for his first career UFC win. Nice leg.
Nice side kick. A lot of variety from Yves striking here. He's been very successful with that. Needs to stay active, needs to stay dynamic with his game.
A pro for over a decade. And Jabois has had a takedown or two as well. Spins again and delivers the shot. Now the head kick. Jabois really mixing it up here in the third round. Stuffed, at least for now.
You can see Yves really taking the advice of his cornerman, Ayman Zahabi. Shot in just right as the 30-second mark came. Try to pressure Loveland here and really get the judges to go his way. Nice right hand from Yves. He needs to press forward here.
10 seconds remain in this fight. A big uppercut misses. This fight will go to the judges' scorecards. Ian Loveland, Yves Jabois go the distance.
Take a look at some replays here from third round action. Loveland very successful with that jab. And then once again, that spinning back fist from Yves. Landing in pretty much every round, and then there's that spinning back kick once again. Such a tough move to get onto, especially when you're talking about the speed that he throws it.
Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges score this contest 30-27, Loveland, 29-28, Jaboen, and 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Yves Tiger Jaboen.
Yves Jaboen, the winner tonight in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, by split decision. Both men hail from the fighting country of Brazil, and tonight, Felipe Arantes and Yuri Alcantara realize their lifelong dream of fighting in the UFC. One of Brazil's top prospects, Sao Paulo's Felipe Arantes, has been on a torrid fighting pace since turning pro in 2008. And with an unbeaten streak in his last 9 fights, this 23-year-old is on his way to big things in the octagon. The same bright future has been forecast for fellow Brazilian Yuri Alcantara, who already gave fight fans a glimpse of what he can do when he knocked out highly regarded Ricardo Lamas in the first round of their WEC bout. Tonight, both of these Brazilians make their UFC debut. Our tale of the tape. Arantes, born in Brazil, fighting out of Newark, New Jersey, just 23 years old. There you see, as we mentioned, Alcantara is 8 years his elder, and he will have a 7.5-inch reach advantage. Bruce Buffer.
And the action begins. Our referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki.
Mario Yamasaki, our referee for this featherweight matchup tonight. Chandela Ariani.
There you go. First round. You ready? You ready? Let's go. Come on.
Alcantara and Arantes, and here we go. The looser white trunks being sported by Yuri Alcantara, the southpaw. Shaved head in the tighter white trunks for Felipe Arantes. Alcantara swarming quickly.
You can see Yuri, this is his style. He loves to pressure, loves to go forward. And against the younger fighter, that's a good strategy.
Good inside leg kick. Checked, but still driven through the shin. And a quick spin. Arantes with a nice spin.
Felipe switched to southpaw, threw that spinning back kick and landed it. Very, very smart technique, and a big elbow from Yuri.
Alcantara very confident. He's got that very traditional Muay Thai stance, Kenny.
Yeah, you can see he wants to check those kicks. He keeps lifting that lead left leg to try to check that inside leg kick of Yuri.
And he threw it, and he did check it. Southpaw Alcantara.
Yuri kind of probing with that right hand. Definitely pressuring, but he's very methodical. He's not just going forward for any reason, waiting, picking his spots to enter. Nice left kick to the body. Very good technique for a southpaw. Left kick right to the body, very difficult for a right-handed fighter to block.
And he caught the kick. And he takes down Arantes.
Felipe Arantes responded with the exact same technique. Opposite side, right leg to the body, but he paid for it with a takedown. Yuri's taking him down off of that. In a half guard position here. This is a good position for him.
Alcantara, member of the Brazilian military force, now a full-time mixed martial artist, has trained since 2000, has been a professional since 2004.
Yeah, that's a lot of experience here. And you can see it just the way that he's mixing it up. He seems a little more calm than the younger Felipe Arantes.
Fighting is truly a culture. And Maracho, Brazil, where he is from the bottom, Arantes scores. 5-time state champion in Muay Thai, regional champion in the black belt division in Jiu-Jitsu.
Yuri landed a very nice left elbow right on the jaw of Felipe Arantes. Doing some good work here in half guard.
Able to posture up and deliver some ground and pound. Over and over again. Now he's looking to pass. See if he can get that leg free. He does. Side control.
Very nice, aggressive style from Yuri Alcantara.
Trying to get the mount.
Looking for a leg lock is Felipe Arantes, or a reversal. Did a good job of getting out of there. Almost got mounted. Once again finds himself in half guard.
Alcantara still looking to get over that left knee, Kenny, and get the full mount.
Yep, I think Yuri is still very content in the half guard. You can still land a very good amount of damage from this half guard position. You know, in jiu-jitsu, it can be advantageous actually being on your back in half guard, but now in MMA, once you start throwing the punches and the elbows in there, becomes a disadvantageous position to be on your back. It's a completely different animal here.
The pace quickening and another huge elbow by Alcantara. Switching to the southpaw stance is Arantes. He's bloodied up. May have been from that most recent elbow.
Yeah, it cut him open there. Let's see how he reacts going into that second round now with that blood dripping.
I like how he throws that elbow from the feet, Kenny. He leads with the jab, the right hand, and then follows up with the elbow. And he's done it more than once as Alcantara here in the round.
Yeah, he hops in very, very nice. Jab, instead of throwing that 1-2, he'll throw the jab and come right in with that big left elbow. Steps off at an angle, throws it very, very well. A nice little spinning attack from Felipe Arantes.
Nice first round delivered by the two Brazilians.
Cadê o banco? Pode entrar dois, Fabião. Fabião.
Fábio.
Fabião, você pode...
Breathe. Breathe. Recuperate, breathe.
Ok.
Recuperate, breathe.
Tá tranquilo, tá aqui, ó.
There's that big left elbow. Bang. You don't need a lot of space for that elbow to land. And it cut him open right in the eye, and definitely was affecting him at the end of that first round.
As a man with wicked elbows, you must be pretty impressed with the elbows of the Brazilian Yuri Alcantara.
Yeah, you know, he threw it very, very well, and it's a technique that I don't mind throwing. I just don't want to get hit by it.
Correct. Yeah, you want to be the deliverer, not the receiver.
They're no fun.
Head kick. Both men possessing lightning quick kicks, especially the attacks to the head. And there you see it right there from Felipe Arantes.
Yeah, with these two Brazilian guys involved, I'm sure they've kicked a soccer ball every once in a while. And you'll see these guys, that's why they're such powerful kickers. Those same kind of mechanics that you'd use in soccer. These guys are always going to be strong kickers, powerful kickers.
And Kenny, that's something you worked on throughout your career, is not just throwing the hips, but stepping in with that lead leg, stepping in and almost making it like a full kicking action, almost like kicking a field goal.
Absolutely. You know, the mechanics aren't too different, and you'll see a lot of these Brazilian fighters are excellent kickers because of that.
Back on the ground, on top again is Alcantara.
Once again, working from that half guard position is Yuri Alcantara, looking for that elbow again. Felipe realizes that's not where he wants to be, decides to go to a closed guard position. But again, with that closed guard position, it's really not the best defensive type of position to be in. You want to be in an open guard. You can push the guy away a little bit better. When you're in a closed guard position, the guy can still punch and elbow. And now, Yuri's looking to pass. You could see the difference.
Right to side control.
A purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Yuri's on top with a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and you'll see he's been scoring repeatedly with guard passes due to that advantage and experience on the ground.
Trying to work his way all the way to the mount. Got it.
Nice mount position. He was faking with an arm lock, switched to the mount position, and this is not where Felipe Arantes wants to be.
Great transitions by Yuri Alcantara. Gonna try to work some damage and finish this fight from the full mount.
Ooh, beautiful triangle attack from the mount position. This is a guy who's not just content to just sit there with dominant position. He wants to finish you. He was looking for that triangle. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get it. But you can see his mindset. This is a guy who wants to get you out of there. He wants to finish the fight.
So he got to the mount, looked for the submission, lost it, and now he'll work within the guard of his opponent with just over 2 minutes on the clock here in the second.
Really impressed with Yuri Alcantara. Very aggressive style, methodical, goes in with the strategy, and really pacing himself very well for his UFC debut.
And he's done a very good job on the feet against Arantes, who is known to be the better striker, at least on paper. Arantes much younger than Alcantara, 24-3, very impressive record for Alcantara.
Yeah, you know, he's used simple techniques, Mike, to really thwart the offense of Felipe Arantes, and he's doing a very good job with this simple left kick, his 1-2 elbow, taking him down, mixing it up with the strikes, and really keeping Arantes guessing throughout this fight. Looks like Alcantara has a little bit more energy though now.
Arantes circling on the outside. Watch for the lead jab, followed by the elbow from Alcantara. Oh, nice knee.
Very nice knee from Arantes. Try to work it from the clinch position, but Alcantara gets a nice takedown up against the fence, and once again he's on top. And this could be very frustrating for a fighter. Kind of started to get his rhythm a little bit, came back from being on his back, but once again Alcantara has him on his back. He's back to doing what he does best here, landing some good blows here from the half guard position.
And matching the speed and reflexes of his younger opponent very well. And that's something to always look for in these lighter weight fights, is the age and the speed and the reflexes. You know, they always talk about that old man strength lasts for a long, long time. But the speed and reflexes, Alcantara, very evenly matched with the 23-year-old Arantes.
Absolutely, he hasn't lost anything. His timing looks phenomenal out there, and he's controlling these rounds, without a doubt.
Sit down. Give me your legs.
Quem tá acontecendo contigo, caralho? Tivesse lá pra isso? Tivesse pra isso, caralho. Presta atenção, olha pra mim.
Look at me. Pay
Tivesse
attention.
pra ganhar essa porra. Tu quer que tá nessa porra?
Gotta do this right, damn it.
Agora, ó. Direto cruzado. Direto cruzado.
Gotta pass his guard.
Pega aí. Bora bloquear mais esse chute aqui. Bloqueia. Não, solta direto. Puxa.
All right.
Agora vai fazer teu nome agora.
Now's your time.
Set for the third and final round. Felipe Arantes, 23 years old. Yuri Alcantara, 31. Dream come true tonight. Both fighting in the octagon for the first time.
There you go, last round, you ready?
Yuri did fight in the WEC.
You know, Yuri's been controlling this fight, but it looks like there's a little bit of momentum shift. Arantes looked to be the more energetic
looking for his
guys
back.
going into this round, but now
Looking to lock in that body triangle, Kenny.
beautiful, beautiful timing on that takedown from Alcantara. Now he has his back once again in a dominant position, and just about to say that Arantes looked like he had a lot of energy. He was bouncing. He looked more active than Alcantara, and now he's back on
Nicely
top.
done.
Very nice reversal from Arantes. Alcantara wasn't able to secure that second hook and kind of was on his side. Arantes really picked the right time to spin and turn, face his opponent, get out of the choke and get back on top and in the guard of Alcantara, and he needs to work here. He's obviously down 2 rounds, he knows it. He has to stay active, he needs to stop Alcantara right here.
Those are some vicious elbows. Arantes trying to score some big points here in the third.
The first time we've seen Alcantara on his back in this fight. Arantes finds himself in a very good position. Really needs to score big damage here.
Again, he's able to posture up. Alcantara trying to control his posture by holding on to that arm. All the way back up is Felipe, big right hand.
Arantes trying to score some leg kicks here. Alcantara had some nice attacks off of his guard.
Full guard now.
Arantes really wants to do some damage or set up some submission attempts. He's going to have to either get a leg lock here from this guard position or pass the guard, because even if he wins this round, it'd be hard to believe that the judge is going to go with him in this fight.
Just about to the midway point of the third and final round. Unbeaten in the last 9 fights is Felipe Arantes' 11-fight winning streak for Yuri Alcantara.
Very impressed with the heart of Arantes. Coming back strong here, really now bringing the pace. You know, we talked about the age difference possibly being a factor in the later rounds. And Arantes seems to be the more energetic fighter here.
And Mario Yamasaki stands him up. Flying knee, caught, taken down.
See, this is where the inexperience may be coming into play. Instead of kind of setting it up, you know, maybe he got a little overly aggressive and now he finds himself on his back again. Perhaps a more experienced fighter would wait, set it up.
In a round, Kenny, in which he had the majority of the control.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he was winning the round here, had, you know, around 2 minutes to really set something like that up here, and he really went for it, but paid for it with a takedown.
90 seconds remain in this fight. Working out a half guard.
This is really where Alcantara is landing the majority of his blows here, going to the body, working the elbows to the face. Arantes has to be frustrated here.
The elbow earlier that we showed you on the replay, the one that cut Felipe Arantes. Quick, sharp elbow from the guard of his opponent. Good control of posture by the 23-year-old. And they'll stand him again. 45 seconds remain. This time it looks like he'll try to set it up, Kenny.
Yeah, he's gonna have to do something here. Under 45 seconds, almost 30 seconds left in the round here.
Looking for the single.
Nice takedown from Alcantara. Very difficult when you know a guy can actually strike with you or is even similar in striking level to you, but also possesses good takedowns. It really can thwart a guy striking and really get him to not, you know, get off on his punches, and that's exactly what he's been doing to Arantes. Perhaps Arantes was the better striker here, but he was respecting the takedowns of Alcantara so much that Alcantara really was able to do very, very well on the feet with him.
Fight goes the distance. The battle of Brazilians here in Rio.
Very impressive fight from Alcantara.
Has he extended his winning streak to 12? We'll find out as the judges render their decision.
Nice shot from Morantes. Tried to go for that big knee, but it was Alcantara who really took advantage of it with the takedown. And again, scored a beautiful takedown in that third round, got on top and finished the fight on the mount, and put an exclamation point on this fight.
Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges score this contest 30-27, 30-27, and 29-28, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Yuri Marajo Alcantara.
It is now a 12-fight win streak for Yuri Alcantara. He wins tonight by unanimous decision. It's another battle of Brazilians, as both Luis Ramos and Eric Silva make their long-awaited UFC debuts here tonight in Rio de Janeiro. Vila Vea's Eric Silva, a submission artist with black belts in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and Judo, has been a longtime favorite of Brazilian fight fans, as well as his fellow fighters, having trained with the likes of Anderson Silva and Jacare Souza. Nuevo União team member Luis Ramos is no stranger to competition in his homeland either. And with wins in 6 of his last 7 bouts, he's more than ready for the fight he's been waiting 10 long years for. Tonight, these Brazilian standouts debut in the world-renowned octagon. Coming up next, Luis Beso Ramos battles Eric Silva. Our tale of the tape for this welterweight fight. Luis Ramos looking for his 20th career victory. He is 3 years the elder of Eric Silva, who will have a 2-inch reach advantage. Set for a welterweight matchup, a battle of Brazilians. Ramos now fighting out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And looking forward to putting on a show tonight here inside the HSBC Arena. Here is Bruce Buffer.
And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean will be our referee. As the Judo Brazilian champion faces the Jungle Fight champion. And Kenny, here in Brazil, these two men are the best in their organizations present day, and they meet inside the octagon to settle the score. Blue trunks for Eric Silva, white trunks for Luis Ramos.
You know, there's been some great rivalries since the beginning of Brazilian mixed martial arts, and you know, it started with the Jiu-Jitsu rivalry versus the Vale Tudo rivalry, Luta Livre. What a right hand from Eric Silva. Wow! Big right hand, landed, he walked right into the power of Eric Silva, landed right on the jaw. Huge finish from Eric Silva.
Eric Silva, the Jungle Fight champion. Boom! And finishes on the ground as Herb Dean stops the fight. Silva trains under Big Nog, Minotauro Nogueira, Anderson Silva, Jacare, Little Nog, and he wins tonight here in Rio de Janeiro. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 40 seconds of the very first round, declaring the winner by TKO, Eric Silva.
Huge win for Silva tonight. And he will visit with Kenny Florian.
Eric, congratulations. Unbelievable punch. How does it feel to get a win here in Brazil?
Como tu feel lutar aqui no Brasil no UFC?
é um sonho meu estar lutando aqui no Brasil, no UFC. Obrigado. Tá muito emocionante, eu treinei bastante para isso. Eu sou de Cobilândia, Vila Velha e do Espírito Santo. Vim aqui pro Rio de Janeiro, morar aqui. Tem 3 meses que eu tô de treinamento aqui, intensivo na HSBC em Tinogueira. E graças a Deus deu tudo certo aí, só tenho a agradecer. Muito obrigado, Dana White, Joey Silva, o senador Magno Malta, Minotouro, todos, Anderson Silva, Rafael Feijão, destaque, toda a galera da Tinogueira. Muito obrigado.
This is an unbelievable dream to be fighting here in Rio in the UFC. It's a dream come true, and I'd like to thank Dana White, I'd like to thank Senator Malta and all of my team for allowing me to be here. And I am, just as a reminder, the first one from Vila Velha, Espírito Santo, to be fighting here, and so this is a dream come true.
Eric, you landed a huge right hand in this fight. Here it is. Jab, big right hand, crushed your opponent. Was this part of the strategy to stand up and strike with your opponent?
Você acertou esse soco, isso é a sua estratégia?
Eu treinei bastante isso. Eu treinei esse soco, eu treinei chutes, rodados, eu treinei bastante tudo. A minha equipe me treinou bastante, só tenho a agradecer a Deus, né? Eu acho que sem ele ninguém chega a lugar nenhum. Muito obrigado mesmo.
I trained this right punch a great deal, as well as many kicks. My team trained me in every single move, and I'd like to thank God for all of this, because without that, we are nothing. So thank you.
Eric, beautiful fight. Congratulations, my man.
Thank you.
Eric Silva victorious in his UFC debut. It took only 40 seconds. Rio de Janeiro will finally get his chance to shine in the big show tonight as he makes his long-anticipated UFC debut against countryman Rafael Assunção. Winner of 25 of 33 bouts, Eduardo has seen it all over the years. But Recife native Assunção is no rookie, and he has the wins over Joe Lozon and Jorge Masvidal to prove it. Making his bantamweight debut, Assunção hopes to kick off new life in his new division with a big win at home. Our tale of the tape, Johnny Eduardo, 33 years old, 4 years the elder of Rafael Assunção, 2 inches taller. He will have about a 4-inch reach advantage. Here is Bruce Buffer.
After the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard will be our referee. 3-round fight here in Rio between Rafael Assunção and Johnny Eduardo. 25 wins in his MMA career. Eduardo making his UFC debut. Eduardo in the white trunks, Assunção in the gray trunks with the quick kick.
Assunção really brings a very aggressive style, likes to throw big combinations with his hands, possesses a heavy leg kick. But you got to think that Johnny Eduardo, with his Muay Thai skills, is going to be looking to keep this fight on the feet here. Probably the faster man out there, but Assunção definitely possesses a lot of experience here.
Eduardo talking about Assunção being a very tough athlete, very well credentialed, who fights with the desire to win, pretty much as you just described the veteran. Fighting for the 20th time in his professional career. Lead right for Assunção.
Yeah, Assunção's, he's been in the bigger fights. It's going against a guy, Eduardo, who has more fights than him, but again, anytime you're making your UFC debut, it's interesting how a fighter's going to react, but tell you what, Eduardo landed a big right hand on Assunção.
That was after the inside leg kick that caught very high on the left thigh of Johnny Eduardo. Looking for the combination 1-2 against Assunção, changing levels. Assunção trying to stay very busy here early.
Assunção has to be careful with that lead left hand. He's dropping it. He got caught with a big right hand earlier. And as soon as he's done with his combinations, he's dropping that left hand. He either needs to get out or keep that left hand high, because Eduardo's going to be looking to return immediately after he's done with his combination. So because of that speed factor, Assunção really has to make sure he keeps those hands up.
Counter uppercut right up the middle, just missed by Eduardo.
And that's what it looks like he's trying to do. He looks like he's trying to counter a Sun Tzu. As soon as he's done with his combination, he's either trying to slip those shots, or as soon as he's done with his combo, he's coming right back at him hard.
Trying to complete the takedown. Rafael Sun Tzu trying to finish this single.
Drives him up against the fence, has him in a single, and then what that does, anytime you put your opponent up against the fence, it takes away his sprawl position, but it also stops your motion. So now it's going to be up to the chain wrestling skills of a Sun Tzu for him to switch, and he did. Beautiful, got his head to the outside, hit a very nice high crotch single. Nice short elbow.
Purple belt is Eduardo in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Black belt, Sun Tzu. 8 of his 15 wins by submission. Trying to go body head. Rafael Sun Tzu in the top position.
Sun Tzu's doing a good job of mixing it up, landing some good ground and pound now. Did what he had to do to get to that clinch position and work his ground game. Eduardo is very good at scrambling, though, on the ground. He's got to be careful. As soon as those legs open up, Sun Tzu has to be ready to make sure he's controlling his opponent, possibly getting to a half guard, but you can't be too greedy against these guys from Novo União. They're great at scrambling and get back to their feet.
A couple nice elbows by Sun Tzu. He's pushing down on the head. Can he get that weight and momentum and then bringing the elbow behind it? And they'll stand him up. So Eduardo controls enough on the ground to get the stand-up from Mark Goddard.
Yeah, I'm not sure I agree with the stand-up, but referee makes decisions. I don't. They're back on their feet here, and big advantage for Eduardo.
Big spin and a miss with 45 seconds on the clock here in the first round. Eduardo in the white trunks, the Sun Tzu the gray trunks, changes his stance, but just for a moment.
Sun Tzu kind of throwing out that jab out there a little bit. He's gonna have to step with it, really kind of get the respect of Eduardo. He can't just throw it out casually. Eduardo will come off of that and throw his combination with a big kick. He's very, very fast.
3-time Brazilian Muay Thai champion Eduardo. Spins again. Final seconds of the round.
Nice right hand from a Sun Tzu there.
Só não pode tomar essa quedinha, só isso.
Just can't be taken down.
Só não quero tomar essa quedinha.
I don't want you being taken down. Everything else is good. Water.
Joana, deixa eu te falar uma coisa. Se tu fingir, vai bater graxa, cruzar com a mão esquerda, nem quando fez tudo.
Pretend you're going to hit him low and hit him high.
Tem que começar a botar ele para andar para trás.
Start making him go backwards.
Entende o que eu tô falando? Só isso.
You understand what I'm saying? That's it.
Ele tá jogando jab lento. Começa a meter teu direto no negócio. Agora só tá dando golpe.
He's just throwing one punch.
Here's the big right hand from Eduardo. Definitely hurt a Sun Tzu. But a Sun Tzu was able to get him down and work some ground and pound. Another nice combination from a Sun Tzu as he ended that round very well.
Sun Tzu joining the Nogueiras, the Millers, Hughes, Sarah, Lozon, Diaz, and Shamrock as the only brother tandems to fight in the UFC. Lead left hook by Rafael Sun Tzu. Brother Junior, professor of Capoeira, fought 3 times in the octagon. This is the second fight in the octagon for Rafael. The clinch. Eduardo trying to end up on top here.
Good hips from Eduardo, and now look at this sweep. Look at this sweep from a Sun Tzu. Beautiful work. That's some great jiu-jitsu right there. Great transition. Went to his back, but made sure that Eduardo did not take advantage of that position. Got right back to his feet. Almost swept him, reversed Eduardo, but here he finds himself up against the cage, working another takedown against Johnny Eduardo. And against a guy who's so fast and such a good striker, this is where you think Assunção really wants to be in this fight, either up against the fence or on top on the ground.
Let's work from there, guys. Progress that fight.
Assunção with lots of international experience. Not a real technical striker, Kenny, but he hits hard.
He does. He's very effective with it and uses it to get to a clinch, get his takedowns going. Nice knee there in the clinch. Just kind of roughing up Johnny Eduardo. And like I said before, you said it about the experience, Assunção's been in the big fights, and that is a huge difference. Although Johnny Eduardo has more fights, the big show is the big show. This is the Super Bowl MMA here.
5 times in the WEC, 2nd time in the octagon for Assunção. Johnny Eduardo riding an 11-fight win streak into his UFC debut. Nice leg kick.
Okay, now this is not good news for Assunção because Johnny Eduardo has found his range on those leg kicks. And we've seen what happens with the guys like Jose Aldo or Diego Nunez. They find the range and they get their leg kicks going. It really will slow a fighter down tremendously. Hard to fight on one leg.
Yep, and that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to focus on that lead leg of Assunção, which will greatly inhibit his opportunity to shoot. Stuffed nicely by Eduardo. Midway point of the fight.
Really like the way Eduardo moves. Very, very fluid striker, very fast. But Assunção's doing a good job of not really letting him get his rhythm too much, you know? He's blitzing him with some punches. He comes in, he clinches him up. Doing a good job of trying to outmuscle him and possibly get him tired as they go into the later rounds. Trying to get behind him here.
Good takedown defense by Eduardo. Talking about his UFC debut, it's a dream come true that I've been waiting for. I persisted in my fighting career and now it pays off as I prepare to fight in the biggest event in the world. Eduardo, 33 years old.
Eduardo really showing some strong hips there as he got out of that clinch position.
Right hand connects for Assunção. Assunção has had some success with that overhand right.
He has. He's landing it very well. He has to make sure he gets that left arm up high to make sure he doesn't get countered with the right hand. Eduardo does throw it very, very well right down the pipe there. There's that right hand again, Mike.
Nice kick. 1 minute. Remains here in the 2nd round, knee to the midsection.
Very nice knee from Eduardo. Assunção looking to get behind, and he does. Can he take advantage of this position? Eduardo trying to base up on all fours, try to take away the leverage of Assunção. He's got a nice hold here.
Really working hard for this back control. He's got it. Can he keep it?
Very slippery here, Mike. He's got to make sure he really stays shoulder to shoulder with Eduardo, and he's looking to stretch him out here with his legs and possibly finish a choke. He does not have it under the chin, but he does have both hooks in very good position here. And Eduardo was doing great on the feet, but Assunção really now secured a great position to influence the judges, possibly his way, because this is a very, very strong position for him.
Great way to end the 2nd round for Rafael Assunção.
Good job. You got to believe in your takedown. You won the 1st and the 2nd. Now you got to continue with the same strategy. Believe in your takedowns. Grab onto that center and believe in it. Take him down. Breathe. You're winning. Perfect. Don't kick anymore. Don't go straight in.
Here's the speed of Johnny Eduardo. Beautiful spinning back kick. And Asuncao finished the round very, very strong. Did a great duck under from the double underhook to take Johnny Eduardo's back from the feet, secured him on the ground, got both hooks in. Good position on Eduardo.
Third and final round. Asuncao in the gray trunks, white trunks for Johnny Eduardo. Eduardo trying to push the pace early here, Joe.
Yeah, you can see the desperation on Johnny Eduardo here, really getting aggressive, throwing that big 1-2, really pressuring him now. Before he was looking to counter, now he's really going forward to Asuncao. He knows he needs to come back and win this third round.
Sorry, Kenny, I just called you Joe, and I have a feeling it won't be the last time.
I know, I just went with it.
I know you didn't. I appreciate that. Thank you. Kenny Florian with me tonight here in Brazil. One of Jose's teammates, Johnny Eduardo, making his UFC debut here in Rio de Janeiro.
Asuncao really looking to loosen up, or he has been loosening up on that strikes, and he looks faster because of it. He looked a little tight in those early rounds. He's loosening up, landed a nice 1-2 leg kick, and another nice jab on Johnny Eduardo.
He feels the need to fight desperate here with 3:45 on the clock.
Yeah, you know, I definitely have Asuncao winning those first 2 rounds. Johnny Eduardo's gonna have to stop him, submit him somehow in this third round, in my opinion, to get the win.
3.5 remains in this fight. Brazilian against Brazilian.
You can see he's much faster now. He's really loosening up. You can see that jab really pop out. Nice, very nice jab. Going backwards here, he can't go straight back. He's got to turn. Eduardo's going to be looking to come with a big knee like he did there, or a big right hand.
Switches his stance for a moment. 3 minutes remain. Asuncao very composed tonight against Eduardo. Fighting a very smart fight, staying within his game plan. Eduardo trying to urge him to push the pace and get sloppy.
Shoots in for a high crotch and finishes it.
Asuncao doing a great job.
Johnny Eduardo looking for a leg lock here. Both of these guys actually are trying to look for a leg lock, and when you go belly down, it is very dangerous. Asuncao's out of his leg lock. Is he gonna try to finish on Eduardo? Johnny Eduardo trying to look for a 50-50 guard, it looks like. Asuncau's making him pay with some punches, trying to free that leg out of there, because that is a tough guard to deal with.
Hey, hand down the fence, no more. Hand down the fence, one more, take a point. Last time.
What Eduardo really should be doing is trying to sneak those legs behind the leg of Asuncao to try to sweep or reverse him. Asuncao knows this, and he's doing a good job of controlling that ankle there with his right hand. And he's making him pay with left hands. Really keeping his composure as Asuncao, just fighting a very, very smart fight all night.
Stop right there, stop right there, stop. Come on, let's go.
1 minute, 15 seconds remain.
Not a lot of time here for Johnny Eduardo. Look for that big right hand. It's in this final minute that Asuncao really needs to be careful here. He's winning this fight.
He's done a lot of good work, especially that second round with the late takedown and ability to get the back of Eduardo in what, as you said, was a pretty strong second round up to that point for the veteran from Rio.
Absolutely. You know, I think he really got Johnny Eduardo's respect with the big right hand, and those takedowns really kept Eduardo off balance and kind of froze him up there.
Assunção hit the canvas for a second, but then said no big deal. Right back up to his feet. 15 seconds on the clock. Assunção in his second UFC fight, looking for his first octagon victory. This the debut for Eduardo. Final seconds ticking away. Fight goes the distance. Judges will render their decision.
Assunção hit a very nice high crotch, but it was Johnny Eduardo who really switched very nicely into that leg lock and definitely put some pressure on the ankle of Assunção. Those slippery legs, he came out of it and landed a big right hand late in that third round. But it was just as Assunção was going in with a flying knee. It was more of him being off balance, but scored very well with it.
Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Rafael Assunção.
First career UFC win for Rafael Assunção. And he will visit with Kenny Florian.
Rafael, congratulations. How does it feel? You switched up your training camp a little bit. Tell us a little bit about that and how it felt to come back to Brazil and get a win here.
Man, first of all, I want to thank God for strengthening me every day. You know, I'm just learning. I haven't read books in a while, in the Bible, like the book that I'm trying to learn. Mas aí, galera, pô, valeu, meu irmão. Eu sou de Recife. Pô, um prazer lutar no Rio aqui. O Johnny Eduardo é carioca, pô, um casca grossa, um veterano. Pô, é um prazer. Everybody in the USA, man, thank you very much. All my family, all my training partners, guys at the Armory, my brother, you know, Manu. Thank you guys. Valeu, galera, pô.
Eu queria agradecer a todo mundo. Eu quero dizer também que eu sou daqui do Brasil, sou de Recife. Para mim foi muito bom voltar. Gostaria de agradecer minha família, minha equipe pelo treinamento e agradecer por estar aqui.
You know, you're back on track here. You know, you had a tough fight in your last fight. What are you looking to do next? What's next for Rafael Assunção?
Well, I mean, I'm just coming off my weight cut to 135. And, I feel great at 35, man. I'm going for the contendership. And thanks all my fans. Aí, galera. Pô, brigadão. Maior prazer. Não vou chorar não, hein? Maior prazer aí. Eu desci de categoria. Pô, tô trabalhando duro. Deus em primeiro lugar. Família. Fique com Deus. Obrigado.
I think he did it all in both Portuguese and English, but he lastly.
Congratulations, Rafael. Good job.
In his debut UFC fight back in 2009, Brazilia's Paulo Thiago shocked the world with a first-round knockout of Josh Koscheck. Since then, he has made the octagon his home, thanks to wins over Mike Swick and Jacob Volkman, and hard-fought scraps with John Fitch and Diego Sanchez. Tonight, he will be met by California's David Mitchell, a talented ground fighter who made a name for himself in his own UFC debut by trading submission after submission with TJ Waldberger. Now it's time for these two cerebral welterweights to lock horns and see which one is truly ready for prime time in the octagon. Our tale of the tape for this welterweight fight. David Mitchell, 31 years old. Thiago, 30 years old. It is Mitchell an inch taller. He will have a 1-inch reach advantage. The veteran voice, Bruce Buffer.
And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki.
Mario Yamasaki, our referee. Paulo Thiago.
Here we go. First
David Mitchell.
You ready? Let's go. Come on.
Here we go. Black trunks for the Brazilian. White trunks for the American.
Dave Mitchell's a very big welterweight. You can see the size difference here.
Thiago debuted in the UFC in fashion with a knockout of the night in London against Josh Koscheck. Coming off a fight of the night performance in his battle with Diego Sanchez.
Yeah, that was definitely the biggest win of his career against Koscheck. And he showed that he's got heavy, heavy hands. Heavy right hand and a heavy left hook. You could see him try to set up that big right hand as Mitchell tries to come in. The one thing Paulo Thiago really needs to be careful with is as he throws his strikes, as he gets back into that fighting position, he really raises that chin, and he has to be careful with Mitchell coming up and over the top with a strike. Anytime you raise that chin, you're making it a big target for your opponent, and that's where Thiago has kind of struggled in his career, getting knocked down, and he's got to be careful.
Follows through with the kick again. And we've seen his stand up a bit wide from time to time. Let's see if Mitchell tries to go right down the middle with the counter. Taken down. Side control immediately for the Brazilian.
Beautiful timing on that entry by Paulo Thiago. Mitchell rushed a little bit too fast. Paulo Thiago ducked under, and he's right in the side mount position where he wants to be. This is a tough position, and Paulo Thiago does some great work here.
What a great crowd here in Rio de Janeiro.
Paulo Thiago is trying to set up that head and arm choke from north-south. He's going to try to switch his arm, his right arm, try to secure his left arm, move to north-south position. He can also get to the mount from here. Try to slide that knee across. Kind of got caught between the two positions, and Mitchell's back to his feet.
Mitchell debuted against TJ Wahlberger, and they were back and forth with submission attempts. One stat read 13 combined submission attempts, which would be a UFC record for one fight. Mitchell also trained his stand-up in March in Thailand. So Mitchell trying to round out his game and set himself up for some success here in the octagon. Thiago scores again.
The spinning back kick has kind of been a theme for tonight. A lot of guys throwing it. And it can definitely surprise your opponent. You know, when you're used to just the traditional 1-2 kick and traditional Muay Thai and boxing techniques, you see a spinning back kick for the first time, you can definitely get caught. It can ruin your day.
Especially when you don't see it.
Yeah. Paulo Thiago once again timing Mitchell very, very well here. Gets him to his back, and he's in side mount once again.
Good control, nice takedown by Thiago. Let's see if he can score some points here. A little over a minute remains here in round one.
Doing a good job of controlling Mitchell here. He's got that near side underhook, head on the other side. It's really pinning Mitchell. And he's got him in the crucifix position here. Mitchell recognized it, got his arm out. That could have been trouble for Mitchell.
Good defense from his back, David Mitchell.
Don't hit the back of the head.
Nice shot.
Paulo Thiago is trying to set up that Darce choke. He finished Mike Swick with it, and he's trying to set it up here against Dave Mitchell. You can see that Mitchell, although he's only a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is very well trained by Dave Terrell here.
Thiago said, my conditioning is very good, my mind is ready, and all my techniques are better than they have ever been in my UFC career. End of round one.
You can't keep landing in bad positions, okay?
You gotta follow that jab. That uppercut,
You're so focused on your stand-up that you're forgetting it's a fight. It's an MMA fight. There's wrestling too, okay?
When you punch, watch out for that takedown. If he gets your back, you roll and you get out quick. You need this round. You know he won that round, right?
He's close and he's tired.
You need this.
Right?
He's
Or jab cross, take a step to the front.
So Mitchell's corner, David Terrell, his trainer, telling him while you are attempting to showcase your newfound stand-up skills, don't forget what got you here, your bread and butter, and that's your grappling ability.
Yeah, anytime you come forward with one of those striking techniques, the difference from a stand-up fight is the guy can take you down. So he was a little upright, and Paulo Thiago was taking advantage of that aggressive forward motion from Mitchell. He was ducking under and taking him down repeatedly here. Let's see how Mitchell adjusts in this second round.
Definitely trying to close the distance more here early, and the spinning kick misses because of that, Kenny. He's able to close the gap there.
Yeah, you know, Thiago really definitely has a speed advantage on Mitchell. And Mitchell's kind of just throwing one strike at a time. He's got to put his combinations together and get some respect from Paulo Thiago when it comes to the striking game. And here he has him in a clinch, almost a headlock position. Thiago has the underhook here and has the advantage because of that. He can control the hips, control the back of Mitchell, and here he is on top once again.
Thiago will work from half guard. Mitchell from the bottom to the body of Paulo Thiago. Started judo at age 5. Inspired by his older brother, his first fight outside of Brazil was his UFC debut. For Paulo Thiago, that was the fight in London when he knocked out Koscheck. Working against 11-1 Cesar Gracie, David Terrell product, David Mitchell.
Dave Mitchell almost did a great reversal to take the back of Paulo Thiago. You could see his strength and long legs coming into play there.
And right after
Thiago
that,
by off guard.
Yeah, and right after that, Kenny, Thiago was happy to get back to the feet.
Oh yeah, that could have been a bad reversal for him, especially with 3 minutes left in the round.
Thiago again steps away, a little bloodied up is David Mitchell.
Hit a nice, kind of trapped the leg there, knocked him down, kind of clubbed him down to the mat. Thiago's definitely winning this takedown war here.
Round 2 of 3 here in Rio. Again taken down.
Once again, and it's just with that simple clinch. He's getting underhooks every single time. And the reason for that is David Mitchell is going too far forward with his hands up. He's not changing levels. And Paulo Thiago, because Dave Mitchell is taller than him, is able to change levels and get underneath him. And going right to that clinch position, he's taking him down every single time.
And Thiago has a wide variety of effective submissions in which he's won with. 3 by arm triangle, 1 by rear naked, sunk in a triangle, a guillotine, an anaconda, and a darce. 8 of his 13 total wins by submission. Thiago in top position again with just under 2 minutes remaining here in the second round.
Paulo Thiago really showing a nice, diverse attack, whether it's coming in with kicks, punches. Nice mixed bag of mixed martial arts with his takedowns. Just keeping Mitchell off of his rhythm.
Lead uppercut. Under 90 now in the second. Pushing forward is Mitchell. Thiago to the body. Timed that one perfectly. Thiago looks bigger in this fight than we've seen him before. He looks in very good physical condition.
Looks in great shape. I think he learned a lot from that last fight against Diego Sanchez, where Sanchez really just, he out-cardioed him. He outworked him, and I don't think Thiago really did the best job of pacing himself there, and learned a lot from it. learned a lot from it. He's coming back strong. Probably went back, worked on his strength and conditioning, worked on his pacing, and he's looking sharp tonight.
They meet again.
There it is again. He's coming up high as Mitchell. Thiago is getting underhooks every single time. Could have taken him down there if he wanted to.
Mitchell again looking for that Superman punch.
Mitchell's just not going to be effective with one punch or one strike. He's got to put his combinations together. He's a big guy. I'm sure he can hurt Thiago if he put those combinations together.
But the real key in this fight thus far, Kenny, have been the takedowns of Paulo Thiago.
Definitely. Paulo Thiago's been hitting him all night. There he is, ducking under that big right hand. Beautiful takedown. Here's a nice suplex from Paulo Thiago right into side mount again. You can see Mitchell try to take him down there. Because he had that underhook, he was able to get on top and once again catching the kick, taking him down with a nice club. Once again from the clinch, right into a trip takedown into side mount. Every single time it seems he gets him down. He's also securing beautiful position in side mount.
Everything you got in the third round. Let's go.
David Mitchell. Paulo Thiago. Third and final round. We've got the wave going inside HSBC Arena here in Rio de Janeiro. This crowd is fired up. The Octagon back in Brazil for the first time in 13 years.
The building is shaking, Mike. I want to get in there.
What a great atmosphere here tonight in Rio de Janeiro. David Mitchell and Paulo Thiago. Wow, listen to this crowd. Right hand by Thiago. And again.
Thiago's really putting it on Mitchell now.
Yeah, he's feeling the enthusiasm of this Brazilian crowd.
The energy is amazing here, and he's really found his rhythm out there. He's found his range, and he's making Mitchell pay with everything he throws.
The great UFC Hall of Famer, Royce Gracie, in attendance tonight. This truly the birthplace of mixed martial arts, as the Gracies brought it to North America. And here we are today, the left lands for Paulo Thiago.
There's that left hook that we were talking about earlier. Paulo Thiago landing it very, very well. Mitchell didn't like it. Gets him to a clinch position, but this time he actually gets the underhook. But look at Thiago.
Ends up on top after the trip.
The takedowns have just been critical to his success in this fight, keeping Mitchell off balance throughout this fight, and he's landing some very nice ground and pound. Mitchell looking for a reversal here. Possible leg lock. Thiago's onto it and gets back up.
(11-1) David Mitchell, 13-3 Paulo Thiago. His knockout of Josh Koscheck, one of the biggest knockouts and upsets of 2009.
Mitchell is game, you know, he's going forward, but his familiarity with the striking is just not enough to get the respect from Thiago. He hasn't really hurt Thiago yet in this fight.
Trying to connect on that jab.
Thiago landed a very nice lead kick upstairs to the head of David Mitchell.
Mitchell's just one strike in and out, Kenny. Not able to really put together any effective combinations.
And that's it, you know, that's been the difference in this fight. Thiago has basically been doing everything, whatever he wanted, he's been doing in this fight. See, Mitchell's got a big mouse on the outside of his right eye, kind of the outside of his temple there.
One every time, dropped the left hand, almost paid for it.
I think that mouse is probably from that left hook that he landed earlier in the round.
Just missed on the overhand.
Now Thiago's actually starting to just throw one punch now.
Yep.
What was making him successful was his combinations. He needs to go back to that and think speed and not power.
Little blood near the bridge of the nose of Paulo Thiago now. Under 2 remains.
There was a nice right hand from Mitchell. Now Mitchell's starting to find his range on his jab, starting to come forward.
There he goes with a 1-2.
There's the combinations. Thiago's a little confused now because of that reach and length of David Mitchell. Hasn't been able to get on the inside and has resorted to kind of throwing big right overhands and hasn't been landing them.
And Mitchell really stepping in to that jab, extending that reach advantage.
Yeah, you know, it's not going to be enough here. He's got a little over a minute left. Has to go for something big. Thiago almost landed a big right hand there.
1 minute remains in this fight.
Now Thiago pressuring, trying to back Mitchell.
Oh my! Big left hook.
Another right hand, that hurt Mitchell.
He got clipped with that left hook.
Paulo Thiago's combinations are back now. And once again, he's got the underhooks, he's got dominant position here, and he can take David Mitchell down to down to the floor here. He can drag him forward, possibly trying to look for a choke from the feet, but that's tough to get here.
Got his back, got both hooks in. 10 seconds remain.
Looking for the choke.
Trying to lock it in, final seconds of the fight.
Has it over the chin, doesn't quite have it under the chin, he's not gonna get it.
This fight goes to the judges' scorecards, and they will render their decision. Standing ovation for the Brazilian, Paulo Thiago.
There's that left hand that caused the mouse on the outside of the right eye of Mitchell. Once again, another takedown from the clinch. Beautiful switch kick from Paulo Thiago. There are the combinations at the end of the round. And he finishes strong with the hooks and the back of David Mitchell.
Good performance here tonight by Paulo Thiago. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for a decision. All 3 judges scored this contest 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Paulo Thiago!
Paulo Thiago by unanimous decision. And here is Kenny Florian.
Paulo, congratulations. What a win here in Rio. Is this the biggest accomplishment of your career so far?
Foi uma luta muito importante para mim. Eu estava numa situação difícil na organização, vindo de 2 derrotas. Então treinei muito, me esforcei muito para essa luta. Meu adversário foi muito difícil, foi muito duro. Parabéns para ele também. Mas é isso, mais uma vitória aí, agora vamos para a próxima.
I was going through a really tough moment in time, but I trained a great deal for this. My adversary was very, very tough, so I congratulate him as well, but that was it. I was able to get this one.
Paulo, what are you looking to do next here in the UFC?
Eu espero o que a organização decidir. Sou um funcionário, estou aí para lutar com quem ela quiser.
I'm an employee, so whatever Lorenzo decides, that's what I'm going to do, and I'll be happy for it.
Paulo Thiago, congratulations, great fight.
Muito obrigado, quero agradecer aí toda essa galera maravilhosa que veio aqui hoje. Quero agradecer aí ao Dan White e toda a organização do UFC que trouxe mais um evento para o Brasil, grande nível. Senador Magno Malta, toda a minha equipe, meus amigos, minha família. todo mundo, a galera, Caveira. Obrigado, Caveira!
He'd like to thank his entire team. He'd like to thank the support he's been having, Senator Malta and the Caveira team. So, Caveira, the Bobby Caveira.
Congratulations, Paulo.
Paulo Thiago from Brasilia wins here in Rio de Janeiro tonight. The Jersey kid, Dan Miller, who has embraced the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, is set to display his black belt level skills against fellow submission specialist, the vicious Rousimar Palhares. A fearless warrior who is willing to step up and face anyone at any time in the octagon, Dan Miller has a record that includes bouts with Chael Sonnen, Michael Bisping, and Damian Maia. And he won't be satisfied until he faces all the top guns at 185 pounds. Next up for the New Jersey product is Rio de Janeiro's Rousimar Palhares, one of the most feared submission artists in the game today, and a fighter whose leg locks can end any opponent's night in a split second. Tonight, these two black belts meet in a battle of wits and fists in one of the sport's most competitive divisions. Our tale of the tape for this middleweight fight: Dan Miller, 30 years old. Rousimar Palhares is 31. Miller is taller and will have a 3-inch reach advantage. The veteran voice of the octagon, Bruce Buffer.
And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
The veteran Herb Dean, our referee. The beautiful Ariani, Shondella, our entire crew here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, and here we go. Miller in the black trunks, white trunks for the Brazilian. Palhares fighting in the UFC for the 8th time. Both men have 5 UFC victories.
Both these guys are great individuals, different styles. Dan Miller, very well-rounded. Not really one thing that really stands out, but he's gonna fight hard, he's gonna fight to the end, he's gonna train hard for every single fight, and he'll take a fight on 2 days' notice, 3 weeks' notice, in Brazil, in the US, it doesn't matter. And Palhares is a guy who poses a lot of dilemmas once he brings his opponents to the mat. It's either gonna be your leg or your arm or your neck. Guy's unbelievable.
Whatever he can grab onto, he's gonna try to rip off.
That's for sure. He's built like a fire hydrant, as you can see.
He looks no longer 185 as he was yesterday at the weigh-ins.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably about 205 right now.
Big, strong middleweight. Very compact and powerful. Rousimar Palhares, lead right hand. And he pulls guard.
He's a wild, wild striker and has to be the most successful guy to fight in the UFC off of his back. I mean, look at it. He's already in an omoplata triangle position, and he's only been on his back for a few seconds. I've never seen someone as dynamic as him on the ground.
Miller works his way through it. This is Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt against Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Palhares under Murilo Bustamante, the former UFC champion. Dan Miller under Jamie Cruz.
Palhares possesses the same kind of submission skills as you compare to a guy with heavy, heavy hands. There's guys who could end a fight at any point with their hands. Palhares has the submission game where he can end the fight at any point with a leg lock, an arm lock, a choke. Phenomenal.
And much like the highlight reel knockout, it is sudden and it is vicious.
Absolutely. He's not looking to kind of casually go into a submission. He's looking to really get everything behind that lock and make sure that when he gets a lock, he's going to tap you out, or the ref's going to stop it.
Miller with a full training camp in preparation for tonight's fight, but yet he fights in Brazil against the Brazilian, who now calls Rio de Janeiro home. 8 of his last 9 wins for Palhares have come by submission. Big shot, and down goes Miller. Palhares rocked him up. Miller gets back on top. Elbows from the bottom by Rousimar.
That front kick caught Miller right in the jaw, knocked him down. Beautiful double leg from Palhares. Couldn't take advantage, and this is the heart of Dan Miller. He was in trouble. He was hurt. He came back, got a double leg of his own, and now he's back on top of Palhares.
The front kick to the jaw, just another example of a mixed martial artist who continues to blend all his skills together.
You know, we talked about brothers fighting in the UFC. Jim Miller, of course, a very successful lightweight here in the UFC. And you can see Dan Miller, when he fights, it's his whole family behind him. His mom is in his corner tonight.
Mom is a nurse, so she was over here helping him go through the cut process and getting back and ready to go. And, you know, 2 weeks out of a fight in Brazil against Paul Harris, there was no way that Dan Miller was going to miss little brother Jimmy's fight in Milwaukee. And now, of course, Jim is here for his older brother Dan, fighting in the UFC for the 10th time. Stand-up has been pretty even. Take away the big kick by Husamar Paul Harris. And a heavy right hand.
Big overhand right from Paul Harris.
His striking looks much improved, doesn't it, Kenny?
I was just going to say that, Mike. You know, he's typically pretty wild, but he's been throwing some pretty technical strikes out there. You know, very nice, heavy leg kick. Looks like he's definitely tightened up the striking.
Oh, my! Big head kick! Looking to finish this fight! He has not finished it. Look at that! Oh, my! Herb Dean did not stop the fight. And Husamar Paul Harris walked away thinking he had earned the victory. Herb Dean did not stop the fight.
Paul Harris.
I never stopped the fight.
I've
Tried
never
to
seen
end the
that
fight itself, but it's the referee that ends the fight. He
Absolutely. So they continue. Wow. Oh my God! Now it's Miller.
Miller caught him with a beautiful right hand just as he was entering. And now Miller has his opportunity to finish this fight.
Paul Harris pushing forward.
Oh my God, what a fight.
Wow!
Hey!
What a crazy round!
Paul Harris got a little too excited at the end of that round. Got a little too excited when he knocked Miller down with that kick. He has to keep his head here.
How do you feel? Can you see me? We're good? Spit this out. Dan, I just want you to listen to my voice, okay? Just listen to my voice. Take a nice deep breath.
Now watch this, Kenny.
Beautiful kick right on the neck of Miller, knocking him down.
And watch Herb Dean in the background, though.
Never. Herb Dean never waved his hands. Paul Harris just walks away thinking the fight is over.
Really keep an eye on Herb Dean if you can see him from this angle.
They were kicking at the exact same time.
See?
Herb Dean went in for a close look, never waved him off.
Not even close. But a great look at the replay. Paul Harris was all the way up, and Miller even walked away like it appeared he thought it might have been stopped.
I haven't seen anything like that.
And then Miller drops him.
Beautiful left hand. It was a left hand that caught Paul Harris as he walked in, dropped him.
Wow.
Unbelievable fight.
Never seen before inside the octagon. And now it looks like Miller says he got poked in the eye, but he's still swinging away.
Paul Harris landing some very nice knees from the clinch position. Miller is hurt in that left eye.
Yep.
I don't know if that was a punch.
I don't know if it was punch or poke, yep. Oh!
Look at the power of Paul Harris.
And he's on top again.
What a fight. Now he's in a triangle.
Throws him right aside.
Miller looking for a triangle choke. Paul Harris, his counter, slam him.
Paul Harris grew up in very humble surroundings. Gets very emotional when he speaks of his path to becoming a professional fighter. Both
of these guys have really experienced a lot of adversity in their personal life, and you can see it when they fight. The heart that they're displaying right now and in all their fights is evident. Look at this.
Huge hammer fist by Husamar Paul Harris. His nickname Toquinho translates to tree stump in English.
The perfect nickname.
Yep.
Tree stump that likes to break tree branches.
And he's working to do so here, at least to break the will of the American.
Paul Harris is landing some big ground and pound. Dan Miller needs to get off his back here, look for a single leg to get back to his feet. He's covering up now.
Yeah, no one has stopped Dan Miller. The crowd showing their support for the Brazilian.
Tough position here when you're in your guard up against the fence. It really limits your mobility as a ground fighter to utilize your guard. It stops your hip game. Your submissions are going to be hard to finish. And when you got the strength of Paul Harris, he just picks you up and slams you as his counters.
Continuing to pressure Miller.
This is a fast pace, especially when you're talking about middleweights. These guys have not rested 1 second. They're going right at it.
Big round for Paul Harris, who is 21-3 in his MMA career.
Dan Miller now seems to have a little bit of control over Paul Harris. Paul Harris is kind of resting a little bit, may have tired from the ground and pound. Landing some short elbows though is Paul Harris, and Miller getting things under control, but he really needs to get this fight back to his feet here.
Under 2. On the clock here in round 2. Bloodied up is Miller on the bottom. More big shots from Toquinho. Man, you can hear the force of those punches to Miller.
That is a powerful guy, and you can see that he's basically rendered Miller's guard useless because he's putting so much pressure with his hips forward, and Miller can't really utilize his legs very well. He's
trying
hurt.
to get the stop here, Kenny.
Yeah, Miller's hurt. He had an opportunity to get back to his feet, and I think the blood in the eyes is also a big factor.
Tried to step through to Paul Harris. Miller looked to improve his position during that transition, but couldn't do so.
Paul Harris looked to try to get a leg there. Miller countered very, very well.
This is the effect of the big, strong opponent for Miller tonight and Paul Harris.
Yeah, big shots, Mike. A lot of blood as well from those elbows that have caused cuts over the forehead and eyes of Dan Miller. And Miller really is having a lot of trouble up against that fence. Having been there, it is tough to do anything. And now when you get a powerful guy and an unbelievable ground guy like Paul Harris, it's tough to be effective there.
Dean talking to Miller about defending himself or he'll stop this fight. Paul Harris really working towards the finish. Miller trying to survive the final 25 seconds of the second round.
What heart by Dan Miller.
We've seen it over and over again. Every time he steps into the octagon.
He always brings it. That is a huge cut.
Wow.
And a big hematoma over the left eye of Dan Miller. And you have to think that was a major problem, being in his guard, not seeing those punches coming. They're gonna have to work on that cut immediately.
Set for the third and final round. Miller will get attended to in his corner.
Give me a towel. Towel. Hey, Dan, you're doing a great job. I know you're hurt and I know you're tired, but so is he, Dan. I know you're hurt and I know you're tired. Dan, no, he's okay. He's okay.
Mike
I know you're hurt, I
Constantino.
know you're tired. Just listen to my voice again as they work on it. Get these going.
You could see Paul Harris looking to get to that clinch position. He got a hold of the tie clinch, landed some nice knees. Now he's on top. And those were huge shots throughout that second round, Mike. And Miller that was close to being stopped.
You won the first 2, don't risk.
Former UFC middleweight champion Murilo Bustamante in the corner of Husamar Paul Harris.
Okay.
Miller and Paul Harris. And Paul Harris really worked diligently at the latter moments of that second round, Kenny, to try to finish this fight. It'll be interesting to see if he's fatigued at all.
Yeah, you know, he looks like he's breathing pretty normally, and both these guys, it was such a fast pace. And it's impressive to see that Paul Harris is still breathing normally, but his arms do look a little tired there. Looks a little weary.
Miller wouldn't mind staying on the feet for a while. getting one of the biggest and strongest members of the middleweight division away from the ground and pound.
Yeah, Dan needs to use his reach here. Palhares is short and stocky, so he's got to use that reach to advantage and not let Palhares on the inside. That's where he's going to land the big power, and of course, that's where he wants to go to get to the clinch.
Miller very patient with his striking. He does not want to get taken down. Because we saw Palhares able to even do a ton of damage inside the full guard of Dan Miller.
Yeah, big power from Palhares. You know, typically he just transitions as soon as he can to a submission. But here we're seeing a Palhares that is using position and striking to try to get his win. Dan Miller, I'd like to see Dan Miller try to throw some kicks, some more kicks, get back to doing that kicking game, especially with that lead left kick. Try to go upstairs with that lead left kick and try to catch the shorter Palhares on the outside.
Crazy round one, where Palhares thought the fight was over, started to celebrate, then Miller almost knocked him out.
This has been one of the craziest fights I've ever seen. Back and forth.
Good kick, but a counter right hand by Miller.
Miller's got to get those combinations working again. He doesn't have the power of Palhares, but if he can start to utilize his speed and reach, he can be effective.
And these Miller brothers have as much heart and courage and warrior spirit as any member of the UFC roster present day.
Every time you see these guys compete, very inspirational. Exciting fighters, aggressive fighters, and this is no different. You can hear the crowd go nuts. This is probably the best crowd I've ever heard.
The Brazilian Palhares with the leg kick. The counter by Miller and another combination. Again with the leg. 1-2. Royce Gracie here tonight. Vitor Belfort doing the Portuguese broadcast. All the stars in Brazil this week, and they have been welcomed with open arms by these fine Brazilian UFC fans. Just over 2 minutes remain in this fight.
Dan has really found some good success with his jab, landing some good 1-2s. He needs to keep the pressure on Palhares here. He's down 2 rounds. Well, that first round was crazy, but he has to bring it here in this 3rd round. This is what's going to determine if he can get the win here, because he's definitely down 2 rounds. He needs to stop Palhares here.
Again, no one has stopped Miller. Palhares came close, especially in the 2nd round, but Miller has to feel a sense of urgency now with under 90 left.
It was such a fast pace, Mike, those first 2 rounds. Both these guys are tired now.
And Miller had a big, strong tree stump on top of him for the majority of the 5 minutes of round 2.
That's going to sap your energy, and Dan really, at this point, you can see it's taken a lot off of his punches. He needs to go back with his kicking game. Nice jab from Dan Miller.
Under a minute now.
Nice body shot from Palhares.
And again, changing levels, leading with the right to the body.
This is a way more technical Palhares. You can see he's really been diligent in working on his striking. His head movement has looked great.
And he used a lot of his gas tank trying to stop that fight in the 2nd. "20 seconds remain.
Nice left hook from Palhares. These guys are just going on hard at this point. They're both dead tired. Their heart won't let them quit. They keep coming forward, looking for the knockout.
They are going to fight to the finish here in Rio. Rousimar Palhares, Dan Miller, go the distance. Kenny, again, what a crazy first round where Husamar Palhares thought he had finished this fight.
Very bizarre round, Mike. You can see it. Beautiful neck kick from Palhares. Palhares has him hurt, goes in for the finish, and walks away from him, thinking Herb Dean was gonna stop the fight or stop the fight. Palhares gets on top of the octagon, not realizing the fight isn't over.
Herb Dean said, no, I didn't stop it. Let's go. And boom, he gets rocked.
To make things even crazier, it was the left hand that ended up hurting Palhares, almost dropped him and almost finished the fight. These guys brought it tonight. One of the craziest fights I've ever seen.
And Herb Dean was very clear. He never stepped in, never made the motion, never pushed the fighter away, signifying that he had stopped the fight. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges score it 29-27, 30-27, and 30-25. Declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Husamar Toquinho
A very unanimous decision tonight for Husamar. Here is Kenny Florian.
Toquinho, this is one of the craziest fights I've ever seen. That first round was amazing. You caught him with a big kick that dropped him. What happened there when you went to go celebrate? You thought the fight was over. What happened there?
Mas se Deus quiser, eu vou consertando isso pra frente.
Yeah, it was a very, very hard fight. He was tough the whole way, but God willing, I was able to get this far.
Were you hurt in that first round? You came back, he ended up dropping you. How hurt were you in that first round?
Ele conseguiu te dar um knockdown no primeiro round ainda. Como é que você estava? Você estava muito machucado? Não, estava bem. Muito bem, eu passo por essa situação sempre. E eu estava bem, graças a Deus.
I go through this a lot and I was feeling good. I was good.
Congratulations. How does it feel to win here in Rio?
Como é que foi ganhar no Rio? Foi uma emoção muito grande. Quero agradecer a Deus e fazer uma homenagem para um amigo meu que morreu há 15 dias dessa luta. É um cara que ajudou muito minha mãe, meus irmãos. E eu queria agradecer e falar, Fred, estamos com você. Essa vitória foi para você. E o meu professor que está ali, ele está por aqui, meu antigo professor divino.
This was a hard fight. I'm thankful for being here. This was an amazing opportunity, and I'd like to dedicate this fight, this victory, to a person who passed away 15 days back, who helped my family a great deal, who helped my mother and my brothers, and I'd like to also thank my coach, my trainer.
Toquinho, congratulations, your award.
Delivering some of the lightweight division's most exciting battles in recent years, Spencer Fisher and Thiago Tavares finally meet in a die-hard fight fans' dream bout. Making this match even more important for Florianopolis' Tavares is that he will be fighting in front of his home country fans for the first time since 2006. And while Fisher won't have any hometown advantage tonight, knowing that he needs to not only put on a memorable fight, but a winning one, is all the motivation this king needs to crown his opponent and get back to the form he showed in wins over Kurt Warburton, Jeremy Stevens, and Sam Stout. Our tale of the tape for this lightweight fight. Tavares, 26 years old. Fisher, 9 years his elder. Thiago Tavares will have a 2-inch reach advantage. Once again, here's Bruce Buffer.
And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard will be our referee for this lightweight matchup. Thiago Tavares against Spencer the King Fisher. And we are underway. White trunks for the Brazilian. Gray trunks for the American. Head kick early. Tavares slipped.
Spencer, southpaw. Thiago Tavares did the right kick there, trying to go upstairs with his right leg.
Spencer's UFC career dates all the way back to October of 2005 when he defeated Thiago Alves by a triangle choke submission in his UFC debut. Big takedown by Tavares.
Spencer staying very calm here. Nice takedown by Tavares. Nice drive all the way through on the takedown. Spencer pinning his back up against the fence, and what it doesn't allow Tavares to get around to his back, and he can wall walk his shoulders back to his feet.
Fisher, an old school Milicic fighter, trained with the likes of UFC Hall of Famer Matt Hughes for many years. Also former champion Jens Pulver. Tonight he faces off against the Brazilian here in Rio. Had those great battles, did Fisher, with Sam Stout. In fact, for the first fight, Spencer actually stepped in on short notice, Kenny, in a fight that you were supposed to have at that point against the Canadian.
Exactly. I went out with a back injury. Spencer Fisher came in, and what a fight they had. Absolute war. Spencer's a guy who never shy, throw down and scrap with an opponent, and he's really evolved his game to really incorporate some good throws, some good jiu-jitsu. He's really been working on his jiu-jitsu a lot recently with Carlos Lemos in Chicago. He'll drive an hour and a half to get that training. He'll go wherever it takes to improve, whether he's flying to Thailand or just a guy who really just wants to improve as a martial artist, and he loves to fight. Excellent competitor.
Tavares really trying to get that hip control of Spencer Fisher. He keeps backing up towards the fence, hoping to wall walk right in front of our broadcast position. Just about to the midway point of this first round.
Tavares is doing a very good job of controlling Spencer, not allowing him to get back to his feet. Controlling the round here. Not really getting big strikes with his ground and pound, but he is being effective. He's being annoying, and he's not allowing Spencer to really base up and get back to his feet. The referee says that he wants more action and stands him up.
Little blood on the right cheek of Thiago Tavares, head kick. Spencer kept that left hand posted nicely. And again, Tavares is looking for the knockout kick.
Spencer really used to have very, very sharp boxing. Really wasn't much of a kicker back in the day, but he's really incorporated a lot of good kicks into his game. Seems that he's moving to the right side. He's just not really getting off on his punches. And that's probably because he respects the takedown game of Thiago Tavares. And when you have a guy who can really mix it up like a Tavares, although you may have the better striking game, it can really shut you down and cause you to really doubt your striking skills. And Spencer really just kind of needs to get off on his striking and not really worry about Tavares' takedowns at this point and just let it flow out there.
Tavares, the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, who had not gone to a decision when he made his UFC debut back in 2007. Fighting for the 11th time in his UFC career, looking for his 20th MMA victory is the Brazilian.
Tavares is coming off a brutal loss to Shane Roller. It was a devastating knockout. And here you could see his strategy was definitely not to stand up and strike with Spencer Fisher, who's very heavy-handed himself. Decides to really utilize a ground strategy of taking him down up against the fence, controlling Spencer, and taking that steam away and that speed of Spencer Fisher.
Tavares looked very good before the end of that Roller fight and was outstanding in Indianapolis against Pat Audenwood. Now he's got the back of Spencer Fisher, trying to get those legs in position.
Tavares looks great here, really getting good position on Spencer, not allowing him to really get anything going, whether it's on the feet or on the ground. He's just shutting Spencer down here.
Very smothering first round by Thiago Tavares.
Absolutely.
Breathe. You all right? Water's right here. Want you to breathe. Perfect. You won the round. It was all yours.
Respira isso, baixa o batimento. Round é teu, ganhou o primeiro round.
Round is yours. You've won the first round. Perfect, Chad. keep doing the same thing.
Abaixo muito bem, tá? Sempre quicando, não para de cair, para de chutar alto. Ele já pegou esse chute. Para de chutar.
Stop kicking.
Chuta embaixo. Abaixou, tá zero.
He's attacking. You kick his leg. You take control. Take control. Do not go down.
So interesting, Tavares' corner says stop kicking, and Fisher's corner says don't go down, which many times we see is the result of a kick, is your opponent is able to utilize you being on that one leg for a second and shoot for the takedown. And there's a kick right away and another. And he ducks under. Good hips by Spencer. Can he stay up though?
Nice level change from Tavares. If he can lock his hands here, he can get the takedown. He's a little high, but he still may have enough leverage to get the hips of Spencer here, and he does.
Big takedown by Tavares, early part of round 2.
He's fighting a very smart fight, really taking away any momentum from Spencer that he could create with his striking, just not letting him get off on his punches.
And we wondered what the game plan would be coming into this fight against Fisher, who was so well-rounded, but we can see exactly what it is. Take him down, control him, and then beat him up.
It's smart. I mean, he's got the advantage. He has the experience factor when it comes to the ground game. He's a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Spencer has been improving that aspect, but he's just not at the level of Thiago Tavares just yet.
Thiago, a big 55, too.
Really is. Always comes in shape. Looks eerily similar to Vitor Belfort, who's right next to us.
Yes. 1, 2, 3 left hands, and now some right elbows.
He's just kind of chipping away at Spencer, not looking for big shots. A lot of guys will try to go for big shots, miss, and allow his opponents to get up. Thiago is finding a very nice balance of controlling his opponent, at the same time chipping away and being effective with his strikes. Not really landing big shots that's going to hurt Spencer, but he is landing points, he's making points, and frustrating Spencer when he's on his back.
Let's progress, guys. You want that position improved. You want to stay there, you've got to work.
Continuing to pressure and continuing to try to chip away, as Kenny said, is Tavares. Again, there you go. Couple of light swings of the axe, but continuous. Sooner or later, the tree falls.
Spencer is in a butterfly guard position. He needs to be able to elevate Thiago's hips and get him up and over his hips so he can get back to his feet. He's kind of just keeping his legs in there. Tavares is squeezing his knees, trying to take away that leverage, and he has his arm trapped. He's got a cross wrist there up against the fence, and that could really mean problems for Spencer Fisher, and he has his back, he's locked out.
Looking to finish it here.
Now Thiago can start to land some big shots.
And he is all over Spencer Fisher. He looks up at the ref, says, I'm fine for now. But Tavares is in a great spot, got the back again.
They may stop this fight right here, Mike.
Trying to tee off on the king. Gained himself this top position, and it is all over! Thiago Tavares wins here in Rio. They are on their feet. Here at the HSBC Arena, the Brazilian, the victor. Once he gained this position, Kenny, this was the beginning of the end.
He was very methodical. He was determined to execute his strategy, and it was all ground. He knew that's where he was going to have the advantage. He secured a beautiful cross wrist up against the fence, got that mount position, and then you saw him unload. Once he had that dominant position, he really went with the strikes and knew Spencer was hurt, smelled the blood, and went for the finish.
Thiago Tavares with a dominant performance in victory tonight over Spencer Fisher. And what a great reaction by the young man born and raised in Florianopolis, Brazil, Thiago Tavares. With the official decision, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 51 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by TKO, Thiago Tavares!
Tavares the winner by TKO. Here is Kenny Florian.
Thiago, congratulations. You know, how does it feel to get a win here in Rio and a win over a true veteran in Spencer Fisher?
Come on. Today, I feel too happy. I want to say thank you for God, for Dana White, the Fertitta brothers. I want to say hello, Floripa. Thiago Tavares is here. Manezinho. Quero agradecer a todos meus amigos do Giga, Kelson, Peu, Nazareiro, papai. Amo vocês. Isso aqui é pra gente, pro Tadeu. Te amo, meu pai. Tudo nosso. Muito obrigado, Alex Davis. Devo tudo a você. Muito obrigado.
Thiago, what do you want next? You had a beautiful win here. What's next?
I just want Silva put me fight soon, because sometimes I fight like a 6 months without fights, no? I want to fight soon in 2 months. Agora em português, eu só pedi uma luta. Eu só pedi uma luta logo, gente, porque ele me bota pra lutar cada 6 meses. E, pô, eu tenho que lutar, manter o ritmo, né, pessoal? Amo vocês, muito obrigado. É pra vocês, hein?
Thiago Tavares, congratulations.
Brazil is the birthplace, the cradle of mixed martial arts. The Ultimate Fighting Championship has deep roots in this land. It was on American soil that the UFC emerged and flourished, growing into a worldwide phenomenon. But in the academies and on the streets of Rio, the cornerstones of the sport were laid down. So much UFC history is Brazilian heritage. So many UFC legends have Brazilian lineage. From the groundbreaking Royce Gracie to the breathtaking Anderson Silva, this fertile countryside has spawned champion after champion after champion. From this rich history, the future of sports was created. Tonight, the UFC returns to Brazil. This is where it all began. This is UFC Rio.
Para mim, essa noite é muito importante para mim, minha carreira, porque eu vou estar no meu país, então eu quero me apresentar bem no UFC Rio e também eu quero vencer uma derrota que eu tive há 4 anos atrás, então para mim são 2 coisas muito importantes nessa noite.
Shogun needs this win for revenge. I need this win just as much for validation, so people know the first time around wasn't a fluke.
안데르슨と戦うことのモチベーションというのは本当に彼が UFC の、絶対王者で、そして彼は UFC の最高のベルトを持ってる。これが2つの僕の最高のモチベーションです。
Bom, é importante para mim manter esse título, manter a minha história, a minha trajetória dentro do UFC. Eu treino muito para isso, treino duro para me manter aqui como campeão e espero continuar dessa maneira.
Time to end this operation.
For the first time in well over a decade, the world-famous Octagon has made its way to the fighting country of Brazil. This is UFC Rio, Silva versus Okami. A hero's welcome for the MMA legends who will fight here tonight. Southpaw aggressive Stanislav Nedkov began his MMA career in relative obscurity in his native Bulgaria in 2006. But when he defeated UFC veterans Kevin Randleman and Travis View, there was no hiding him anymore. Certainly, the debuting Nedkov won't be able to hide from Sao Paulo's Luis Kane, a ferocious striker who has knocked out Jason Lambert, Sokaju, and Elliot Marshall in the UFC, and who is well aware that another big knockout victory tonight could propel him into the top 10. Our tale of the tape for this light heavyweight fight. Kane is 30, Nedkov is 29. Luis Kane, who already has the striking advantage, will have a 6-inch reach advantage. We go to the veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer.
And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki.
Mario Yamasaki, our referee. The beautiful Shondella, Ariani, our entire crew, happy to be here for UFC Rio. Kane and Nedkov, here we go! Luis Kane, the southpaw, in the black trunks. The Bulgarian Nedkov in the white trunks. And Kane looks very lean. He looks in very good shape for this fight. In fact, he said for his last fight against Marshall, he was in the best shape of his life, and he's only built from there.
Well, that's the way to do it. You don't want to take too much time off as a fighter, and he's taking this seriously and looked great. See how he performs against Nedkov, who's not the most technical striker, but he is very heavy-handed. And even when you're getting the advantage in the striking department against a guy like that, you always got to be ready, make sure your hands are up, because he is very awkward, but he is heavy-handed.
6-inch reach advantage for Kane, who can be a machine of destruction.
He's gonna have to use that against a guy who really wants to get on the inside, either to land a punch or to get into a grappling exchange like he did right there, and he did land a nice little short right hand.
And he continues to push forward, does Nedkov. 11-0 in his MMA career.
Good job by Kane. He went backward, he went straight back in the beginning, but then circled off away from the fence. Did a very good job of getting away from the pressure of Nedkov. Now lands a nice inside leg kick.
Nedkov said simply of his opponent, Luis Kane, he's a dangerous guy, but he will lose.
Nedkov seems very confident. He's throwing that right hand a lot, and Kane's left hand is pretty low. He's gonna have to be careful with that right hand, especially as a southpaw. That's kind of one of the weapons you have to be careful with. It's that left hook of the right-handed fighter and the straight right hand.
There's that right counter again by Nedkov. Good kick a moment ago by Kane. Trying to find an angle and an opening is Luis Kane. That overhand right again from Stanislav Nedkov. And there's that same punch again, Kenny. And again.
Nedkov has pretty much thrown one strike the whole fight, and he's landed it a lot. It's that overhand right. You know, he's going against a taller fighter. He's going against a southpaw. That's kind of the shot to throw, but if Kane gets onto it, he can look to counter. But so far, Nedkov's been successful with it. There it is again.
Nice counter. Oh, he's starting to tee off.
Now the combinations are coming out. This is what Kane needs to do.
Kane
land his combinations and get out.
He's very, very technical in his striking. He's a lot of fun to watch. Because if you're at home, if you're a young fighter, you're looking at how to perfect your stand-up. This is a good guy to pattern yourself after, especially if you're a southpaw.
Absolutely. This is a guy I like to watch. He just has to be careful with his hands. They're just a little bit low, but man, when he throws those combinations, they are beautiful to watch. And we're seeing other guys, stablemate of his, Edson Barbosa, who is cut from the same mold, and very, very exciting striker to watch as well.
Looking to set up that left hand again. He might look for a huge uppercut.
I wouldn't mind seeing a left high kick from Louis Kane, especially, again, against a shorter opponent. Not a bad idea. I'm sure he's trying to find the range there, but if he can get him to circle to that side, just as he's doing, go high with that leg kick, the fight could be over. Another overhand right from Nedkov.
And he can set up that movement by...
Skilled on the feet as Kane, but he possesses big-time power, and he just kept throwing that right hand until he dropped Kane, but Nedkov was in some serious trouble up to that point. Boom. The right hand followed by a left hook. He put that combination together right on the temple of Kane, and those are the kind of punches that aren't going to just put you to sleep, but it's going to rock your equilibrium. That's when the octagon starts to shift, and you think you're in an earthquake, and that's exactly what Nedkov brought to Kane. Kane was in trouble there.
Take a look at it again, Kenny, and you see the second hook.
Here's the big overhand right, and then the left hook right there. Kind of gets your ear a little bit, your inner ear, and that's where you can see his balance is all messed up. He's trying to get back into the fight, but very difficult to do so. Once your equilibrium is gone, it's really hard. You gotta either lock up with him or run away, and he wasn't able to do that against Nedkov.
Nedkov the victory. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mario Yamasaki has called a stop to this contest at 4 minutes, 13 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by TKO, Stanislav Nedkov.
Nedkov with the win. Defeating Kane here in Rio de Janeiro. Here's Kenny Florian.
You finally get your win. You finally get your fight in the UFC. It was a big win going against Louis Kane in his home country. How does it feel to finally fight in the UFC and get a win here?
Какво мислиш за голямата победа на Луис Кейн за първи път в UFC? Цяла България очаква тази победа доста дълго време. Аз благодаря на Господ, че ме дари точно аз да я постигна за България. Посещавам я на всички мои треньори, моята жена Юляна, моят президент господин Попов, на всички мои спаринг партньори. Благодаря на всички спонсори. Днес е голям ден за България. Първа победа на България в UFC.
Bulgaria waiting for very long time for this victory. He want to say thanks for everybody, his wife, his partners, his trainers.
A Bulgária espera muitos anos por essa vitória. Ele gostaria de agradecer a esposa dele, a família dele, os parceiros dele.
Congratulations on a big win here in Brazil.
There are very few families more famous for fighting in Brazil than the Nogueiras. And tonight, Big Nog fights here at home against the hybrid, Brendan Schaub. In the history of mixed martial arts, few fighters are as accomplished as Rio de Janeiro's Minotauro Nogueira, the only man to ever hold the UFC and Pride heavyweight championships, has earned the title of legend. But tonight, Nogueira will be put to the test by a rising star who has been chopping down some of the biggest names in the division. And following wins over Gabriel Gonzaga and Mirko Krokop, Brendan Schaub is determined to add Nogueira's name to his victims list. Minotauro is not ready to be put away that easily though, and considering that he is healthy for the first time in years, expect a vintage performance. Our tale of the tape for this heavyweight fight, Nogueira 35, Schaub is 28. You see Schaub at 247, Nogueira 243. Reach is almost identical. This should be a great fight. Here's Bruce Buffer.
And the action begins. Our referee in charge, Herb Dean.
Herb Dean, our referee. Minotauro Nogueira. Brendan Schaub. Here we go! The hybrid in the white trunks. The legend in the black trunks. Nogueira, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Also a black belt in Judo, both earned in 1999. A true warrior.
Nogueira really has been working a lot on his wrestling in preparation for this fight, bringing out a wrestling coach, Eric Albasaran, to Rio to prepare him for this fight. And you can see right away he tried to clinch and try to put Brendan Schaub on his back. That's definitely where he has the experience advantage. Brendan Schaub is very heavy-handed. We've seen it against Krokop and his other opponents. And Schaub just keeps getting more and more confidence with every fight.
Brendan Schaub finished every man on The Ultimate Fighter Season 10 up until the finals when Big Country got the better of him, and he's looked great since that point. Winning 3 of his 4 fights by knockout or TKO. Went the distance with Gonzaga in victory.
Nogueira, you know, looks to have some better head movement here, but he is walking a little bit slow on that lead leg, that lead left knee. Seems to be walking a little slow and just got caught with a big uppercut.
Couple of punches landed for Schaub there.
Big combination.
Slipped and ripped there, Kenny.
Absolutely.
Nicely done. Extremely motivated for this matchup tonight. Said he took an elbow in the Krokop fight. That really had him spinning for a second at Schaub, but he worked his way through it and earned the victory. Just buckled the legendary Mirko Krokop.
Schaub really is a great athlete. You can see the way that he moves, very fast for a heavyweight, moves very well, great learner. And Nogueira is doing a good job of pressuring him and trying to really bring the fight to Schaub. Schaub's gonna have to look to counter.
And Kenny, Schaub shows the teep and uses the teep, misses with the Superman punch, trying to keep Big Nog at distance. Minotauro with the 1-2 and it connects.
Beautiful combination from Nogueira earlier. Timed it perfectly. Schaub is having very good success with that right uppercut, and it looked like it hurt Nogueira.
And he's still continuing to pump that jab and deliver. Nogueira looking for the single.
Some Coca-Cola fly right into the octagon. Everyone's going nuts. What a win for Nogueira.
How good is that? And wins again in the octagon. What a great moment for these proud Brazilians who have waited 13 years for the octagon to return to their country. Junior Dos Santos amongst those celebrating. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean is going to stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 9 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout, Antonio Rodrigo Minotauro Nogueira.
The winner by knockout, the legendary Big Nog. Here's Kenny Florian.
Rodrigo, congratulations, man. Congratulations. You know, some people were starting to doubt you. You came back, performed here in your hometown, just a couple miles away from where you live. How does it feel?
Man, first of all, let me speak in Portuguese first, okay? Gente, presta atenção. Presta atenção, gente. Por favor. Olha só, eu vim de 3 cirurgias, onde eu operei o meu quadril e o meu joelho, onde eu passei 1 ano parado, certo? 4 meses e meio andando de muleta. E tive 3 meses e meio para treinar para essa luta. E aceitei por causa de vocês. Para lutar no Brasil. Certo? Só aceitei para lutar para vocês. Porque minha luta de número 40 é a minha primeira luta em casa. Então, muito obrigado por vocês. Valeu, gente. Gente, meu after party no Boate Sutra. Vamos lá, comparece ali no Recreio dos Bandeirantes. E aí, galera, um abraço pros fuzileiros navais. Esses lutam por vocês. Guys, let me tell you, I just had 3 months and a half for training for that fight. Okay, I was injured, really bad injury. I had a surgery in both hips and my knee. Okay, so I just accepted the fight because I never fight at home. Was my fight number 40, first time in Brazil. So I fight for them. Thanks to White to bring UFC to Brazil. Thank you guys, thanks very much. I'd like to say thank you for my physical therapist and family. They did a great job.
You're a true legend. Congratulations.
Thank you for coming.
What a wonderful moment for the hometown hero, Antonio Rodrigo Minotauro Nogueira. Unbeaten as a professional, Rio de Janeiro's Edson Barboza has established himself as the top prospect in the UFC's lightweight division in just 2 fights, thanks to a crushing stoppage of Mike Lolo and a fight of the night win over Anthony Njokuani. The Ultimate Fighter Season 9 winner, Ross Pearson, knows what it's like to be a hot newcomer with high expectations since he was once there himself. And with determination and an exciting style, the British banger defeated Dennis Seaver and Spencer Fisher to move from prospect to contender. Tonight, we'll see if Barboza, like Pearson, has what it takes to battle with the big boys. Our tale of the tape for this lightweight fight, 26-year-old Brit against 25-year-old Brazilian. Barboza, 3 inches taller. He will have a 6-inch reach advantage. The veteran voice of the Octagon. Once again, here's Bruce Buffer.
And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mario Yamasaki.
Mario Yamasaki, our referee. The lovely Shandella.
There you go, first round, you ready? You ready? Let's go, come on!
Here we go! The Brit in the white trunks, the Brazilian in the black trunks. Big leg kick early from Barboza.
There's that leg kicking game of Barboza, very, very fast with his kicks.
That one checked by Pearson. Pearson with a lead left. Pearson closing in quickly.
Putting a lot of pressure on Barboza, and it's not a bad strategy for a guy who wants to kick you. Very difficult to kick going backwards with much effectiveness, and Pearson is really putting on the pressure.
Yep, and he knows he needs to get inside that huge reach advantage of Barboza as well.
Exactly, huge reach advantage for Barboza, 75-inch reach to his 69, and tall, lean striker trying to go for that front kick to the jaw. Pearson isn't having it. Moving his head very, very well, Ross is, as he's going forward, and he's going to have to do that throughout this fight.
For this historic event, Dana White has upped the ante for the bonuses to $100,000. And when we looked at this matchup, you know, throughout our preparation, Kenny, it has potential fight of the night written all over it.
Without a doubt, both these guys are always bringing it, and that's pretty good motivation, $100,000.
Pearson trying to circle and connect again with that left.
Nice left hook as he dodges in, kind of almost like that style that Mike Tyson used to use. Bobbing and weaving as he comes in with a big left hook. Ross Pearson is the thicker man, kind of wider guy. Edson, rangier fighter.
One of the true gentlemen of the many gentlemen we have here in the sport of MMA. Pearson, a classy young Brit with a ton of talent and an unmatched work ethic and a huge willingness to learn. Nice shot to the body, counter right by Barboza. Again with that front kick. And man, he really extends the reach with that right leg.
Barboza is very, very fast. Definitely has the speed advantage over Pearson, but Pearson is really trying to smother that offense of Barboza and doing a very good job of bringing the heat and bringing the pressure. Nice left hook from Pearson.
With the knee, it's Pearson. And a knee delivered to the midsection by Barboza. Barboza, great spinning back kick. Right to the liver of his opponent.
Big shot to the liver of Pearson. I'm surprised Pearson's still standing there. That landed very, very well. Didn't really get full extension on it, but wow, Pearson took that one well.
Yeah, he walked right through it, literally. Pearson with his own leg kick. Winner of 5 of his last 6. Counter got clipped.
Barboza
Pearson slips.
Barboza is so fluid with his striking.
Good kick to the body by Pearson. Pearson seems to be the heavier-handed, Kenny, but certainly the quicker and more athletic fighter is Barboza. And Ross said that coming in. He knew he was going to have to counter the great speed and athleticism of his Brazilian opponent.
Without a doubt, you know, Pearson's doing the right game plan, though. He's not going to be able to, you know, outspeed Edson Barboza. He's going to have to get on the inside, use his power, try to get Barboza's respect with his strength, with his power. And Barboza, very impressive, not only in his striking, it's absolutely textbook for anyone who wants to learn good Muay Thai. Look at Barboza, mimic Barboza, but look at his footwork of how he moves and he circles. He's never going straight back. He's looking for angles. Very diverse and dynamic with his striking. Very, very pretty to watch.
Combination again by Pearson. Pearson slips and rips.
Nice body shot. It'll be interesting to see how those shots take effect on Barboza. And not a bad strategy, especially when you're going against a guy that fast, to go to his body, try to slow him down. And here we see something that's kind of rare for Pearson. He's going for a takedown here.
Well, he said he's got a new box of toys. Working on his ground game, working on his wrestling with the likes of a Phil Davis. Great guy to learn from. The national champion at Penn State. Final seconds of round 1. The corner of Ross, the real deal, Pearson.
Deep breath. Perfect round, okay? You felt his speed, you felt his power. You didn't let him set any kicks.
Both of these guys are looking very sharp tonight.
You got this, okay? I need more than one punch. You can't go one punch because he's countering off of that. Okay. And it's frustrating when you put 2. Keep that forward pressure. He can't set the kicks. Go.
There's that spinning back kick. Kind of caught him on the arm. It's a good thing for Pearson. If that landed flush, that would have been trouble. Nice left hook. Going backwards for Barboza, and a nice right hand from Pearson. But really, it's been the story of this fight is Pearson going forward, pressuring, and Barboza's been looking to counter, and this has been a very, very close fight. Pearson isn't just walking forward, he's coming forward with punches, head movement. As I said before, both these guys looking very, very sharp.
Putting together a ton of combinations, very effective in that. Ross Pearson, round 2. The Brit against the Brazilian.
A great example of the new generation of fighters coming into the UFC. Young, very well-rounded, very fast.
Oh, he got rocked! Right back up, though.
Big overhand right, and it looks like Pearson's still hurt from that. That right hand caught him flush.
Looking to whip that kick to the head. Great exchange back and forth that started with that caught kick. Again, looking for the body with the switch.
Beautiful liver shot by Barboza that may have hurt Pearson. And everything that Barboza does, it looks like you're just pressing fast forward on the remote control. He's so fast, so accurate, devastating striker.
Pearson seems to have regained his balance and his sorts here. Just under 4 on the clock here in the second round. After a big shot landed by Edson Barboza. Trying to throw that jab right up the middle. Again with the switch off the arm. Nicely done by Pearson.
You know, there's without a doubt, when you get a guy who's as good at kicking your legs as Edson Barboza, you have to kick his. You have to get his respect. You have to back him up and let him know that, yeah, you may kick my legs, but you're going to take a few as well.
Checked. Nicely done, too. Caught him with a right hand.
There's that right hand again from Barboza.
Flush on that connection. Pearson looking for the counter upper. Pearson starting to counter very well, Kenny.
Yeah, he's moving his head very, very nicely, starting to find his range again. And there it is, he's opening up that game with his leg kicks as well. The feints are critical as well. It gets a good strike, but you can't just rush in there with combinations. You got to get in there, throw your feints, and keep the guy guessing.
And you can see that Pearson's game plan is to continue to close the gap and to put constant pressure on the unbeaten Brazilian. Nice hips. Good sprawl by Barboza.
Fast feet, that good circling from Barboza. It's going to be interesting to see how Barboza is going to deal with this pressure as he starts to get the end of this round, beginning of the third round, because he is really smothering Barboza and bringing a lot of pressure in. It looks to me like Edson is starting to slow down just a little bit. This is a fast pace that these guys have kept, and perhaps Pearson believes that he could out-cardio Barboza.
Under 2 minutes on the clock in the second. Quick jab from both men. Another big shot by the Brazilian.
Barboza found success with that right hand earlier. He's been throwing it a lot in this round.
Well, Pearson's been able to take some of Barboza's best and just walk through him, Kenny.
Nice.
Spun again.
Nice spinning back kick from Barboza. We've seen that a lot tonight. But Pearson is just all heart. He just keeps coming. Whether it's a shot on the jaw or another liver shot like that Barboza threw, Pearson is determined to pressure Barboza and get him to break.
Such a powerful and entertaining fighter during his time on The Ultimate Fighter. And he has just grown up in front of our eyes inside the octagon since that win over Andre Winner. Under a minute on the clock here in round two. Lead left hook by Pearson.
He's been finding a lot of success with that lead left hook. He'll feint, kind of fakes like he's gonna go with the jab and come in with the hook. It's been a good shot for him.
Nice shot to the ribs with that left kick a moment ago. Caught him with kind of the foot, where you could see the welt on the rib cage of Ross Pearson. He'd love to bury that shin in his opponent's midsection. Pearson again pushes and closes the gap.
Pearson needs to get those leg kicks going again. It seems like his strategy is to keep it pretty close on the feet. And the last 30 seconds, if you notice, he's trying to get in for a clinch, shoot for a takedown, and try to steal the round. But Barboza isn't having it.
Round two comes to conclusion. Edson Barboza, textbook striking, and he has landed his right hand on.
A luta tá tua.
Really
A
good.
luta tua.
You're such a technical striker.
Edson, beautiful. When you get in the cage, keep the left hand in his face, he gets confused. Left hand, with your hand in his face, that's it. And manage. Don't go with his motion. As soon as he get more distance, he's gonna come. Get more distance, that's it, okay? He's gonna come after you. Then we're gonna check him with the jab and 1-2 right hand. Step to the side. I want more angles now.
Vamos, Juninho, é o último round.
Não fica na grade, não fica na grade. Eu quero circulando, Júnior.
Build up at
Don't stay in the cage. I want you circling out.
His corner talking about keeping that distance, the opposite of the game plan of Pearson, and letting the 1-2 go. And keep circling.
Here we go. You ready? You ready? Let's go, come on.
Third and final round. Very close fight between Edson Barboza and Ross Pearson. Here tonight at UFC Rio, Silva versus Okami.
A guy who wants to come forward like Pearson is, you have to circle. You can't go straight back, because that's exactly what Pearson wants. And that's also going to open up angles for your own striking. Pearson finding good success with that head movement, bobbing and weaving, coming in with a big left hook, right hand combination. And here he has Barboza up against the fence. And, you know, you got to believe that Barbosa won those first 2 rounds. There he is again with that spinning back kick.
Third time, and it's followed by a heavy switch kick. You were calling for Pearson to start to fire the legs late in round 2. He does it on cue.
That's what you want to do, to try to at least contain the leg kicking game of your opponent. And every time Pearson does that, you'll notice there's a lag time between the next time Barbosa throws his leg kicks.
Flying knee.
That was a good opportunity right there. He's lucky to catch that knee and take him down, but he wasn't able to do that. Pearson's gonna have to do something big in this 3rd round.
Very close fight. Good slip by Pearson. Right hand just missed. Two very quick strikers putting on a show here in Rio de Janeiro. Switch kick by Barbosa. The jab by Pearson. Off the shoulder. Nice left combination. Looking for the single.
Good job by Pearson, pressuring him up against the cage. See if he can finish the takedown. His hips are up and away. He's gonna have to get inside, get tight, and run the pipe. He's not able to do it. Barbosa, showing great defensive wrestling here.
Yeah, he could feel it wasn't there, Kenny. Gave it up real quickly. Big welt on the left side of the head of Ross Pearson from some of those heavy right hands that we showed you on the replay from Edson Barbosa.
You know, it's still too early to say that Barbosa's the best striker that we've seen, but as far as technique for technique, he's as technical as they come. Everything he throws is just picture perfect.
It's not quite Mark Hominick-like, but that swelling continues to grow on the left side of Ross Pearson's head. Quick jab connects.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's from the knee or from the right hand, but nasty hematoma there.
Under 2 minutes remain in this fight. Barbosa, hoping to remain unbeaten in this takedown defense, is going to help him earn a potential victory. Spins, but Pearson was real close that time, and it glances off the shoulder. Inside leg kick by the Brit. Under 90 seconds now.
These fighters have stayed very active. I'm very impressed with their cardio level and their ability to push. Both of these guys realize this is a huge fight. Kind of elevate them in that upper echelon of lightweights.
Great display of footwork by both men.
Without a doubt.
Another leg kick. You see the welt on the left leg of Ross Pearson. Pearson stings him with a left hook, follows up with a straight right. 50 seconds now remain in this fight. Pearson changing levels again. Got clipped by a left hook. And a nice straight jab. Both men looking a bit weathered here. You can see it in the face of Edson Barbosa. Now there's bleeding from the right side of the face of Pearson.
Edson Barbosa needs to be careful. He's a little tired now. He's starting to go straight back instead of circle there. There he's circling. But when you're going straight back and you got the fence behind you, with Pearson throwing that right hand, he has to be very, very careful.
10 seconds remain in this fight.
These two young fighters really brought it tonight. What a fight.
Kenny, take a look at our fight replay.
There's that right hand. Probably opened up, probably caused that hematoma over the left eye of Pearson. There's the right hand that dropped him. The combinations that he puts together are just so fluid. It's not just one punch coming at you. He's gonna throw 3, 4, 5, finish with a kick. Beautiful to watch.
And with the decision, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. The judges score this contest 29-28, Barboza. 29-28, Pearson. And 29-28 for the winner by split decision, Edson Jr. Barboza.
Close fight, split decision victory to the young man born here in Rio de Janeiro. He's with Kenny Florian.
Edson, congratulations. You know, the story of this fight was Pearson going forward and you looking to counter. Is this what you expected going into this fight?
Essa luta foi grande passo na sua jornada adiante. Foi o que você esperava nessa luta, essa dificuldade?
Com certeza. Cada luta que a gente vai conseguindo subir no ranking do UFC, cada luta é mais dura.
For sure. In each fight we take a step up in the UFC ladder, and each fight we get a better fight.
Speaking of which, what do you want next? You know, this is one of the fights that's going to put you in the upper echelon of lightweights. What do you want next?
O que você deseja? Qual é o seu próximo passo? O que você quer atingir?
Simplesmente eu quero mais. Quero lutar o máximo possível, para uns caras mais caixa grossa possível e cada vez subindo mais na categoria. Não tem pressa para cinturão, nem imagino isso agora, eu só quero lutar.
He just wants more. He just wants to fight, to go up in his category, and he wants more of it, more fights.
E aí, galera, para todo mundo de Friburgo, amo vocês, minha torcida, minha família, todo mundo. Muito obrigado por tudo. É a Fúria, mané!
He's sending his best to Friburgo, his hometown.
Congratulations, Edson Barboza, ladies and gentlemen.
Big win for the Brazilian here tonight, displaying some tremendous striking skills. Our co-main event features two former light heavyweight champions who are set to battle once again. It's Shogun against Forrest. The man who helped redefine the Ultimate Fighting Championship. What a fantastic victory for Forrest Griffin. Mauricio Shogun Hua.
That man's a lot of pent-up frustration based on the first fight.
Shogun wants this rematch with Forrest Griffin and wants the loss off his record.
Eu acho que eu aceitei a luta do jeito que eu tava, então o problema é meu. Tive alguns problemas, mas eu nunca coloquei isso na mídia.
Forrest came out and shocked the world and won that fight.
Hoje eu acredito que eu posso chegar no meu 100%. Acho que seria uma luta melhor. Lembro que foi uma luta movimentada, uma luta que quem me conhece sabe que eu sempre busco o nocaute ou finalização, tudo subindo pra cima, né? Eu acho que esse é meu estilo e eu acho que sempre vai ser.
Shogun Hua is nasty. He doesn't stop moving forward. His striking is unbelievable.
E com certeza meu grande sonho é o cinturão e eu vencendo o Forrest, eu tô no caminho para isso. Então esse é o meu grande objetivo.
I'm the bigger, stronger guy. Anytime he picks his leg up to kick me, I'm definitely looking to put him on his back.
Time to slug it out. Good uppercut. That's it.
What people love about Forrest Griffin is that he comes to fight. He's durable, he's tough, he's a hard worker. It's kill or be killed.
What a performance by Forrest Griffin.
Look at the list of guys that Forrest Griffin has beat, from Tito Ortiz, Rich Franklin, Rampage Jackson, and Shogun Hua.
The man who helped to bring us to where we are today is the new light heavyweight champion.
You know, a guy who came in off the first season of The Ultimate Fighter, and he's got unstoppable heart and determination.
I'm a better wrestler than I was. My jiu-jitsu is as good as it ever was.
Espero conseguir igualar esse placar e mostrar que eu sou melhor que ele.
He is the original Ultimate Fighter winner, Forrest Griffin. quickly making his way to the octagon for this rematch against Mauricio Shogun Rua. In typical Forrest fashion, he has told us how lovely his week cutting weight and adjusting to the diet here in Brazil has been.
Yeah, Forrest has never been shy to show his emotions or tell everybody how he feels. And, you know, not only that, his wife is expecting a baby any day now. You know, he's been over here having to adjust to the climate, the food change, all these things. You know, Forrest is pretty irritable on fight week like most fighters. You know, I know how rough it is cutting weight, but I think Forrest is going to use that as some serious motivation to go out there and get a big win here in Brazil, go home.
Forrest Griffin, looking for his 10th UFC win. His wife, as Kenny mentioned, is due in 10 days with their baby girl. Mike Pyle, longtime training partner of Forrest Griffin, said it's been a great camp. He is in great shape and looking for a great fight coming off what was a spectacular performance against another former champion in Rich Franklin. In fact, when you look at the men that Forrest has fought, it is a who's who list of UFC belt winners. Born and raised in Curitiba, Brazil, Mauricio Shogun Rua, the former Pride champion who has been a professional for nearly 9 years. For this fight, he trained for the first time in his career outside of his homeland of Brazil, spent 3 months in LA, reunited with Rafael Cordero, his original Shootbach coach, and he says, I am ready, I feel great. Coming off the title fight against John Jones, Shogun wants to get right back in that title picture.
Yeah, you know, Shogun doesn't really strike me as the guy who, you know, is going to fold after coming back from a hard and tough loss against a guy like John Jones, but you never know how that can affect a fighter. You know, there weren't a lot of positives that you could take from that fight. John Jones was extremely dominant in that fight. But what Shogun did do is he moved his camp to California, you know, moved away from his family, got uncomfortable and really focused on improving his game.
First time he fought Forrest Griffin back at UFC 76. He had just gotten married, was fighting on a bad knee. Says this time he's 100% ready to go. The last time he fought here in Brazil was 2001. He was 21 years old. Took on Cyborg Santos in what was his third professional fight and was awarded his brown belt after that victory. Tonight, he returns as one of 7 Brazilians to hold a UFC championship, and he fights here in Rio de Janeiro.
Shogun really rose very, very quickly, both here in Brazil, had a very successful career over in Japan, winning the Grand Prix over there. Many people called him the uncrowned best light heavyweight in the world. Then he was able to defeat Lyoto Machida, who a lot of people said was unbeatable, and then ran into a roadblock against John Jones. But here he has a rematch against a guy who beat him in his UFC debut, and he gets to do it in his home country. And this is another one of those fights that you have to think it's going to be fight of the night. Both these guys bring it every time.
Shogun and Forrest meet once again. Our tale of the tape for this light heavyweight matchup. The American, 3 years the elder of the Brazilian, Forrest Griffin. 2 inches taller. They both weighed in at 205, but Forrest will be the bigger fighter and have the slight reach advantage. And here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the co-main event of the evening. This fight is 3 rounds in the UFC light heavyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a freestyle fighter, holding a professional record, 18 wins, 6 losses. He stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Las Vegas, Nevada, USA, he is the former UFC light heavyweight champion, Forrest And now introducing his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, a Muay Thai kickboxer, holding a professional record, 19 wins, 5 losses. Standing 6 feet 1 inch tall, weighing in at 205 pounds. Fighting out of Curitiba, Brazil, presenting the former UFC light heavyweight champion, Mauricio Shogun Hua! And when the action begins, our referee in charge, Mark Goddard.
Mark Goddard will be our referee for the rematch.
Okay, gentlemen, we've been over the rules in the wrestling room. You know what I expect. Keep yourself protected at all times. Show me you're still in this fight. When I say stop, you stop. Touch gloves. Let's do this.
Forrest Griffin, since that first fight with Shogun, has fought 5 straight former or present UFC champions, including Anderson Silva at 205. Tonight, he faces off against Shogun for the second time.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's do this.
Here we go! Dark trunks for Griffin, white trunks for Shogun. Forrest Griffin coming in. Jimmy Gifford, his boxing coach, said has really worked on his head movement, his jab, his footwork, and he's gonna try to land some of those leg kicks that he used so effectively when he won the title by defeating Rampage Jackson, which was the fight immediately after his first win over Shogun.
Yes, it was. You know, Forrest has never run away from a tough fight. And at times, during a fight, he'll get into a firefight and just start throwing down. And what we've seen, especially in his last fight against Rich Franklin, is a smarter Forrest Griffin and a guy who's really using much more strategy. He's using angles now. He's not just rushing in. And he really has improved his game tremendously.
Big uppercut by Shogun, followed by the knee.
Forrest looks a little tight to me, maybe a little bit nervous, but looks a little tight, kind of needs to relax and kind of let the arms flow a little bit.
Shogun has appeared to be very relaxed all week and embracing the moment and the opportunity to fight here in Brazil.
Shogun's most dangerous punch is that right hand of his, very, very heavy-handed. He also has a very heavy right kick. Hasn't really thrown it yet. Forrest is probably looking to counter that, maybe put Shogun on his back a little bit, use that weight advantage, because as you saw them as they
just like that!
That's a finish that looked eerily similar to Rashad Evans, to that Rashad Evans fight. Caught Forrest as he came in and finished the job on the ground. Shogun waited for his opportunity, landed his shot, and finished the job when he needed to.
Again, it's the right that connected early, and Forrest was stumbling at that point.
You know, it was another one of those shots that kind of gets you on the tempo and took away his equilibrium, and then he finished the job there.
Huge hammer fist from the former champion.
Very, very heavy-handed.
Hua has returned to his championship form. Bruce Buffer has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Mark Goddard has called a stop to this contest at 1 minute, 53 seconds of the very first round. Declaring the winner by knockout, Mauricio Shogun Hua!
1:53, the official time of the stoppage. Winner by knockout is Shogun. He will visit with Kenny.
Shogun, congratulations on a huge win. You know, it was two former champions going at it. You beat Forrest Griffin here in Brazil. Where do you think this puts you, and who do you want next?
Parabéns pela brilhante vitória, por ter vencido o Forrest Griffin aqui também. Onde é que você acha que você vai? Qual é o próximo passo?
I train hard every day for this fight. Obrigado, Brasil! Minha maior motivação é meu país, porra!
Ele treina muito duro para isso. And he would like to thank his country for it. Meses esperando por isso e muitos meses anteriores. Obrigado, Brasil.
Ei, Dudinha! Papai ganhou, Dudinha!
Shogun, you're back. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
A fine young man, Mauricio Shogun Rua, wins tonight. 2 for 2 are the Brazilian legends, Big Nog and now Mauricio Shogun Rua, both victors tonight by knockout.
There's never been anybody like Anderson Silva in mixed martial arts.
Oh! He front kicked him in the face! Absolutely rocked it!
Anderson Silva has an advantage over almost every single human being in the world that fights in mixed martial arts. He's just that good. He is the most accurate fighter we have ever had compete in the octagon.
Big shot there. Oh, down goes Griffin! Just like that!
Anderson Silva and Yushin Okami fought once before, and Yushin won by disqualification because Anderson hit him with an illegal up kick. Since 2006, this is the only loss Anderson Silva has had on his record.
He's very sick about that fight. He does not like it, and he wants to erase that loss from his record. A victory over Yushin Okami will do just that. If you talk to anybody about what is the recipe to beat Anderson Silva, standing with him, really not the best idea in the world. Submitting him,
He's striking. Look at the hands flow. Yeah,
good luck. But taking him down and grounding and pounding,
Okami's very hard to shake.
Getting a really high-level wrestler,
Looking for the finish.
and smash him with elbows and punches and rough him up and cut him.
He turned it.
That's one of the things that makes this fight so interesting.
Bring the thunder, Yushin Okami!
のは肉体的に強いと思ってるし、だから彼にそれをどんどん。
He is the best fighter to ever come out of Japan. If he beats Anderson Silva, he finally gets not only the title, but the recognition he deserves.
Caught him with the jab.
Oh! Okami's got a guillotine.
Oh, he rocked him, Joe.
This guy's been fighting the best fighters in the world and winning. He's got great hands. He's not afraid to go to the ground because he's got great jiu-jitsu, but where he's his best is in the clinch. He'll get you in that clinch and put you down on the ground, get that top position, and beat you up from the top. Obviously, this one's a little personal for Anderson Silva because it's Yushin Okami, but what he's fighting for now is his legacy.
Champion of the world!
He's crushed every record in UFC history.
Eu acredito que ele vai vir bem preparado, assim como eu também vou estar bem preparado para representar bem o meu time e o meu trabalho. Não percam.
Japan, Yushin Thunder Okami. For this fight, he brought his entire team to Oregon. His jiu-jitsu coach, his strength and physical coach. And he trained with Matt Linlin and Chael Sonnen. And tonight he wants to display a good mix of strikes with those takedowns that he believes could lead him to becoming the new champion in a division where the belt has not changed hands since October of 2006.
Yeah, you know, just because you're a good wrestler doesn't mean you can go right in there and beat Anderson Silva or have a shot at beating Anderson Silva. You're going to have to set it up with your strikes, and you're going to have to get Anderson Silva's respect with your strikes. You're going to have to go forward. You're going to have to pressure him. Chael Sonnen really laid out a very good blueprint of how to beat Anderson Silva.
We have never had a Japanese champion. Yushin Okami wants to change that. He began his strength and training after his fight against Rich Franklin in Belfast, Northern Ireland, back in June of 2007, a fight in which he almost submitted Rich Franklin. His only other loss in the octagon was to Chael Sonnen 3 days after that fight, showed up in Portland, and he's trained with Chael Sonnen since that point.
Yeah, this is not a guy who's just content with the level that he's at. He always wants to evolve his game. And again, another true martial arts. He'll do whatever it takes to get better. You know, and talk about ego. You know, he went and trained with a guy who beat him. It says a lot about him and what he's willing to do to improve. And, you know, said that he started working on his strength conditioning after Rich Franklin, but from what we hear, it must be working because everybody says he is the strongest middleweight in the world.
He has handed Alan Belcher, Caleb Starnes, Rory Singer, and Mike Swick their first ever UFC losses. Tonight, Yushin Okami hopes to become the first man ever to beat Anderson Silva in the octagon. He is the most dominant fighter in UFC history. 13-0 inside the octagon. A UFC record, 8 title defenses, 2 wins in the UFC at 205 pounds. 13 consecutive wins is a UFC record. The previous record was held by Royce Gracie and John Fitch. It was 9. 14-fight win streak overall. He's only gone past the second round 4 times in his career, and tonight he looks to win here in Brazil.
You know, a few huge sponsors came into the sport recently, and they both decided to sponsor Anderson Silva. And then the second biggest club in Brazil, Corinthians, I mean, shows how fast the sport is growing and how big a superstar Anderson Silva is here in Brazil and in Latin America.
Right now, Anderson Silva really is a rock star. When he took to the mat at the open workouts on Copacabana Beach on Wednesday, Kenny, I mean, the crowd was restrained, but the media almost ran him right over. It was truly like the Beatles had arrived.
Yeah, he is a superstar here in Brazil and abroad, and you know, he deserves it. He absolutely deserves it, and what a nice guy. And he's still such a humble guy, always saying hello, always smiling, even during fight week. I don't know how this guy does it, how he fights, and how he really keeps such a humble head about him. The guy is a real example for all mixed martial artists today, and for all athletes, really.
His first fight at home here in Brazil since 2003. Yushin Okami has waited a long time. An injury at UFC 90 back in 08 cost him a title shot against Anderson Silva. Patrick the Predator Cote came in and fought the champion that night. But tonight a very special one for the young man from Curitiba, the champion, Anderson the Spider Silva.
He's fighting in his hometown, has a bunch of huge sponsors. Will that be more pressure on him here? Will that cause him to fight more conservatively? Or will he just let loose and be that dynamic striker and that dangerous guy that he is?
Our tale of the tape for this middleweight matchup. The champion is 36. The challenger is 30. Anderson Silva will have a 5.5-inch reach advantage. With the introductions, Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the main event of the evening. Our three judges scoring this contest at Octagon side are Doug Crosby, Sal D'Amato, Chris Lee. And when the action begins, our referee in charge of the Octagon, Herb Dean. And now, Senhoras y Senhores do Brasil and UFC fans watching around the world, this is the moment you've all been waiting for. From the sold-out HSBC Arena in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. It's time! 5 rounds for the undisputed UFC Middleweight Championship of the world. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. This man is a mixed martial artist, holding a professional record, 27 wins, 5 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 183 pounds. Fighting out of Kanagawa, Japan, presenting the challenger, Yushin Thunder Okami! And now, introducing the champion, fighting out of the red corner, a Muay Thai kickboxer and jiu-jitsu fighter, holding a professional record, 28 wins, 4 losses. He stands 6 feet 2 inches tall, weighing in at 184 pounds. Fighting out of Curitiba, Brazil, he is the reigning, defending UFC undisputed middleweight champion of the world, Anderson the Spider Silva!
All right, gentlemen, we've been over the rules. Protect yourself at all times. Follow my instructions. Gonna keep it clean. Touch it up. Let's make it official. Okay, let's fight.
Wow. No touch of the gloves in this rematch of the Rumble that took place on The Rock in 2006 when both men fought at 175. Okami and Silva for the middleweight championship.
Ready to fight? Ready.
Here we go! Southpaw against southpaw. Black and yellow for the Spider. White trunks for Thunder.
Okami comes out stalking. Anderson Silva usually in the first round, he kind of takes it to analyze. He's like a computer. He watches what you do, how you're moving, how you're coming forward, what you're doing to defend yourself, picks apart your game, and it's pretty much over from there. Once he figures you out, it's going to be a short night or it's going to be a long night of pain.
And he always likes to toss that jab out just to gather his distance and try to start to set up his opponent.
Nice circular movement, not going straight back. And you'll notice he's going against an other southpaw, and when he does that, when Anderson goes against another southpaw, he will switch his stance. He's able to go lefty and righty, and he'll look to confuse Okami with both stances throughout this fight.
It is nearly impossible to emulate Anderson Silva in a training camp because there are very few, if any, who strike like Anderson Silva.
He can do so much, you know. It's not that he's the fastest striker in the world. He's not the most powerful striker in the world, but he has the best timing and he is the most accurate striker in the world.
I think it's safe to say, Kenny, he is also the most entertaining striker in the world. The champion Anderson Silva switches his stance momentarily. Always looking for an opening, constantly throwing feints. The 1-2. Good jab by Okami. Big swing by Silva.
All these movements, these dancing, these feints, they're all done to try to analyze Okami. How is he reacting? Anderson Silva is putting all that information together and planning his attack for the following rounds.
Circling and switching his stance again is the champion. Trying to close the distance is the challenger.
Okami looking to use that Team Quest dirty boxing style, grab behind the head, kind of that half tie clinch, and use those uppercuts to try to rough up his opponent. But if you're gonna do a half tie clinch, do not let Anderson Silva get the full tie clinch, because knees will be coming up to your face.
Okami, in very classy fashion, said the win, which came by a disqualification for an illegal upkick back in 06, he said he's never considered it my victory. He considers tonight the continuation of the battle with Anderson Silva.
They definitely have unfinished business, and you know, this is a rematch. Many years in the making. They both evolved so much since that time. That was a catchweight fight of 175. Here they are, 185, going at it for the UFC 185 belt in Rio de Janeiro. And interesting to see that Anderson really is kind of content to stay on the cage. He is able to get an underhook and turn, but he's kind of content to kind of play that tie clinch style with him.
Well, we saw how he's able to ragdoll Rich Franklin not once but twice with some of the most vicious clinch work we have ever seen in the octagon. And if he can get both hands around the back of the head of Okami and start to control that upper body, you are in big trouble, as you mentioned. Okami slides down looking for the single.
Okami didn't like that knee. He did not like that knee at all. Quickly went to the legs to try to take him down, but it looks like Okami's trying to wear Anderson Silva down from that Greco clinch, from that half tie clinch. Definitely taking a page out of Chael Sonnen's book, but with not as many leg attacks here.
He is big and powerful. He has tremendous thunder in his ground and pound, but I think that Yushin Okami will be the first to admit he doesn't have the pure takedown skills of the high-level wrestler of Chael Sonnen.
Yeah,
so he'll need to set up those takedowns with some strikes.
Yep, Chael will get in on a leg, use that power double, switch from a single to a high crotch. Okami's more of a Greco-Roman guy. He's got a judo background, he'll work his takedowns from the clinch and up against the fence.
20 seconds on the clock here in the first round. Title fight scheduled for 5 5-minute rounds. Quick kick by Silva. Great head movement by the champion. Nice uppercut. Anderson's starting to let it go just a bit here at the end of the round. Head kick.
Perfeito round, respira.
Breathe.
Tranquilo, tranquilo, tranquilo.
Chill. No problem.
Cadê o gelo? Cadê o gelo? Respira.
A little bit of water, or a little bit of ice, water.
Movimenta, finta e
Movement,
pega. Tá com a distância perfeita.
Feint,
Tá bom?
and hit him.
Respira.
Breathe.
Tranquilo. Move o tronco, finta. O jab tá pegando. Jab direto, passa de encontro, cruzado, jab de encontro. A mão da frente tá
Jab,
pegando, mas
cross.
se move. Pro seu lado, troca o seu
Move.
direto, tá bom? Isso é mais rápido, porque ele tá parado, não defende, tá parado. Finta aí, bom, antecipa.
Pound your feet, pound your feet. Put pressure. You're doing good. You're doing okay. Use your feint and be first.
Beautiful left high kick right to the back of the head, back of the neck of Yushin Okami. Definitely surprised him. He came up with that one very, very quick. Used mostly hands throughout that round and came up quick with a very nice kick to the head.
Well, if he can help it, he'd rather not be placed on his back.
He's doing a good job so far. Both corners imploring their fighters to feint and come in.
Nice quick jab and a good combination. Silva pushing the pace here early in the second. Anderson starting to find his rhythm. The jab by Okami.
Anderson definitely turned up a notch there with his intensity. A lot of movement. His hands are very low. He has to be careful with that. His head movement is very, very good. He gets away with it.
His head movement sick. Oh! Straight right. knocks down Yushin Okami.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Anderson Silva will break the rules and make you pay for it.
Unbelievable is the best word to describe what this man does in the octagon against the world's best.
It was the same thing he did against Forrest Griffin. He drops his hands, asks you to come in, and then makes you pay with just a jab, and he drops you. Unbelievable.
He loved Muhammad Ali growing up, continues to look at Anderson Silva remains the middleweight champion. Finishing Yushin Okami in the second round.
This is classic Anderson Silva. Classic Anderson Silva gets you to feel comfortable, drops his hands, gets you to come in, and pow, out of nowhere, he will hurt you and take you out. Gets him to come in. That was a jab, Mike. A jab that just dropped him out of nowhere. Never seen Yushin Okami get dropped with something like that. Just so accurate. Once again, it was the right hand, but it was kind of a shovel punch there, almost a kind of a uppercut and a hook. And right there, just picks his shots, and Okami was hurt. Finishes the job. Brilliant, brilliant performance from the greatest pound-for-pound fighter that I've ever seen.
Let the party get started here in Rio. They love this man, a true rock star. Here in Brazil, the greatest champion in UFC history and the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world today, Anderson Silva, defends his title for a UFC record 9th consecutive time. With the official decision, here is Bruce Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 2 minutes, 4 seconds of round number 2. Declaring the winner by TKO and still the undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Anderson the Spider
What a great moment for Anderson Silva, fighting here in Brazil for the first time since 2003, avenging his loss to Yushin Okami, remaining unbeaten in the octagon, and he will talk to Kenny Florian.
Anderson, you know, it was another brilliant performance. You know, you were fighting here in where you train. This is where it all started for you. You had some big sponsors come up from behind you. Did you feel any pressure coming into this fight?
Você está aqui lutando no local onde você treina e a gente sentiu que havia essa grande pressão toda para você nessa luta.
I'm training hard for my team, Minotauro, Rogério Minotauro, for all the guys. I'm training hard. I'm staying here for fight. I'm so happy, bro. Sorry.
Eu tô treinando duro, tô treinando com a equipe do Minotauro, e aqui tô muito, muito feliz com essa luta. Tô treinando aqui no Rio.
Let's take a look at the shot that dropped Yushin. You know, it was a very similar setup to what you did against Forrest Griffin. Your hands were down. You got him to come in and commit, and you dropped him with the jab. Is this something that you work on all the time in training? Or is this something you just come up with on the fly?
I train hard for the best guys in the world. Cigano punch my face all the time. I'm ready for fight.
Eu treino duro com os melhores caras do mundo. O Cigano me dá soco na cara o tempo todo. Eu treino muito.
Anderson Silva, you know, you're a legend in the sport. It's an honor to watch you work. Congratulations. What do you want next? What's next for you?
My clone.
Trono.
Congratulations. Anderson Silva.
Aí, galera. Olha só um minuto. O papo é sério agora. Aí, vou imortalizar aqui
um dizer do Capitão Nascimento: senhores, nunca serão, jamais serão.
A message to the hometown crowd here in Rio tonight from the greatest champion in UFC history. Anderson, the Spider Silva, defeats Yushin Okami and remains unbeaten inside the octagon. The executive producers of the UFC, Frank Fertitta III, Lorenzo Fertitta, and UFC President Dana White. Our supervising producer is Craig Borsari. Tonight's show produced by Bruce Connell, directed by Anthony Pasquale Giordano. A special thanks to all of our crew coming overseas and putting on a great production tonight in front of a crowd that loves their own, including this man, Rio de Janeiro's Big Nog, Minotauro Nogueira, who knocks out Brendan Schaub. Then it was Edson Barboza looking to remain unbeaten. The Brit gave him a great battle, but in the end, Barboza goes to 9-0. Next up was the rematch of the two former light heavyweight champions, but this one belonged to Shogun as he finishes Griffin and remains a force at 205. And then we were treated once again in our main event of the evening to the magic of the Spider, Anderson Silva, who took the thunder out of Okami early and with lightning fast strikes ends the fight in the second. Just the turn of the hip and a vicious right hand, and it was all over. And the Spider remains the greatest of all time. For Kenny Florian, Mike Goldberg saying so long until next time. We see you right back here inside the